Ready to end the year with some money in your pocket? We got it covered at Gossett Mitsubishi's Mitsubishi Motors year-end sales event. Get to the Pike for the award-winning 2023 Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV. 420 total range MPGE, $299 a month. Get ready for your road trip in the 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport. Buy for $27,000 or just $399 a month. And cool has never been cooler than in a 2024 Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross. We Gossett at $30,700 or $499 a month. And no worries with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So get to Gossett Mitsubishi today at 1870 Covington Pike. Gift wrapping available. You want it, we Gossett. Shop online anytime at MemphisMitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we Gossett at Gossett Motor Cars.
PHEV PZ06203 MSRP 44,355 Sport RU 001136 MSRP 28,000 Eclipse RZO 12051 MSRP 31,700 includes all rebates and incentives PF 695 excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month. Dealer stock only.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis and W253 DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
It's time to get up and get your day started.
Morant. Oh! A jawbreaker!
It's Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. The first hour of Sports 56 Mornings is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware at the corner of White Station and Quince. Now, here are your hosts, Greg and Eli.
They get up every morning from the alarm clocks warning, take the 8:15 into the city.
Somebody once said, oh, what a night. I believe it was the Four Seasons in Frankie Valley, and what a night it was in the city of Memphis for sports fans, from the Grizzlies to the Tigers, to finally a solution to the whole stadium issue as the city council has approved the amendment and the city will hand over Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium to the University of Memphis. It was indeed an amazing evening. Everything happening at night, including a Grizzlies finish with the return of Ja Morant that you could not script. Hollywood couldn't script that type of ending. We welcome you into Sports 56 Mornings on this Wednesday, December 20th, 2023. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Zach Boyd, and a cast of thousands. We are in the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure's Christmas sale continues. Excellent deals on everything from pool tables to arcade games to play gyms. So if you haven't gotten that special gift for that special someone, time is winding down, but you can still head on over to Family Leisure for their Christmas sale, 2120 Witten Road, just north of I-40. And the first hour of the program is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware. As you get your hump day ready to go, looking at 34 degrees, clear skies, not as cold as it was yesterday morning, but still pretty chilly. Partly sunny today with a high of 59. Partly cloudy tonight with a low of 37. Coming up on the program, Andy Borman joins us at 8:05, Memphis Tigers assistant basketball coach. The Tigers with another huge win, and they set a little history as well in knocking off Virginia. We'll talk to Andy about the Tigers basketball team. 8:25, Jerry Palm from CBS Sports and CBSSports.com on some college basketball and college football. And then to Michael Cole at 9:05 on the Grizzlies, their win last night in New Orleans, and the return of Ja Morant, a triumphant return to say the least. And then at 9:30, 5 favorite things, your 5 favorite active pro athletes, your 5 favorite active professional athletes in any sport, but it has to be professional, and it has to be active. 360-8255. Send it in via the Sports 56 listener line by texting it at 901-360-8255. You can also send us your list via Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, or the website sportsmemphis.com. We got, of course, National Signing Day today, if it wasn't already enough with all the stories we have, and also some big news from Ole Miss as far as their football team is concerned. So that's what we got for you today. When we can, we'll certainly take your calls at 360-8255. Read your texts, 901-360-8255. That was a hell of about, 6 hours, 5 hours, whatever it was, between the Tigers, the Grizzlies, and the city council doing what they really needed to do.
Yes, it was. And John makes a difference.
You think?
It's nice to have him back. He makes a bit of a difference for that team.
It was great because I was able to go to the game see the Tigers, get back home, and watch pretty much the entire fourth quarter and that tremendous ending. And here's what it sounded like as you watched on TNT with Brian Anderson on the call.
Back to win. Memphis, no timeouts left. Into the backcourt it goes. Morant's going to get ahead of Steve with a chance to win it in his return. Here goes Morant. He spins. Morant scores! And the timer expires. Count the basket. And Ja Morant wins it for the Grizzlies.
Like I said, you could not have scripted that any better. The return of Ja Morant, he goes for 34 big ones, 13 in the third, 14 points in the fourth. So that's 27 points he scored in the second half. Scores 34 in 35 minutes as the Grizzlies win 115-113. They shocked the Pelicans, who owned a 19-point halftime lead over the Grizzlies. And now, tomorrow night, at home, the return of Ja's first home game against the Indiana Pacers a little bit later on in the show. Going to give you a chance to win tickets to go watch Ja's return at home. But his return after a 25-game suspension, like I said, a Hollywood scripted ending. But I don't think you could have scripted it. It was beyond what Hollywood could write, that story, at least for chapter number 1.
Well, there's no doubt about that. And, I mean, it shows you, like, when you've got that guy. And, Jaren, Desmond, they're great players, all-star level players. They're just not that guy who can take over a game down the stretch and just be able to go get a bucket whenever he wants. He took the one bad three-point shot there in that final minute. But otherwise, he just went and got baskets. It was just, they had no answer. Didn't matter who they put on him. He was going to go score. And, that final one there, I mean, it's just that having a guy who can do that is just a massive difference maker. Down by 23 certainly didn't look like it was going to have that ending, that's for sure. But they, and the big three all did their thing and got a little bit of support as well. But yeah, it's just, you kind of forget, having not seen him in so long, like how good he is and his ability to do those types of things. And then you see it one night, you're like, oh, that's right. I do remember, like, he's just a different caliber player. And boy, that was a fun fourth quarter.
I don't know if necessarily we forget here in Memphis, but I think around the country, they did forget. And they were quickly reminded last night with that performance by Ja Morant. Yes, he's been practicing, so it's not like he came off the couch and was eating bonbons and just sitting around getting fat. Ja Morant was staying in great shape, as he talked about in his press conference last week, and was ready to go. But you just don't know until you step out there. Now, he was a little bit rusty from the outside. He was 0 for 5 from 3, but he is not a great three-point shooter. As you said, he got to the hole. That's what he does best. He slithers through, leaps over you, gets around you, scores from all different angles. He was 12 of 24 from the field, 10 of 12 from the free throw line, added 8 assists, added 6 rebounds, added 2 steals, even had a blocked shot, did turn it over 5 times. But again, it was what you expected from Ja. And Jaren Jackson Jr. chipped in. He had 24. Dez struggled early and then got his shot back and hit a couple of key shots in the second half. He finished with 21. But that big three is tough to beat. And that's why they were second in the West the last couple of years, because you combine those guys with a guy like Steven Adams. Can Bismack Biyombo do 70% what Steven Adams can do? If so, the Grizzlies have a chance. As I said yesterday, I was disappointed that they only got 6 wins out of 25 without John. People would agree with that. But I wanted to see what they would do the next 3, 4, 5 games. The first games with Ja's return, and that's still without Marcus Smart and still without Luke Kennard. And mission accomplished for game number 1. Now we'll see again when they come back home, where they've only won 1 time. It is going to be an exciting night tomorrow night at FedEx Forum. But my gosh, what a game, what an ending. He's the man. Ja Morant, if he could stay in the straight and narrow, and of course T was back and Pack was back on the sidelines where they usually are for Ja, And that's just fine. As long as there's no more shenanigans away from the court. John Morant is a hell of a basketball player. And like you said, Eli, everybody was reminded last night.
And he talked about afterwards how he was, he was feeling it. He was feeling the fatigue. Like he is, certainly not in game shape, and talked about how much he was feeling it, but still, that with fatigue, able to just go do what he wants to do and get those buckets late in that game, including the game winner. He certainly is, with his, as he's going down the tunnel talking about the receipts and all this stuff, he is certainly motivated to try and I think remind people just how good he is. And certainly on the national stage last night on national television, he did just that. There's no doubt tomorrow night should be a lot of fun because it will be a track meet of a basketball game, because that's what Indiana wants to do, and that's what the Grizzlies want to do too. That's just fine with them. It will be up and down. There will be a ton of points scored. Ja will be going crazy. Tickets are there's a lot of people that want tickets for tomorrow night's game. This has been, from what I've told, kind of like a playoff game as far as tickets are concerned. There's a lot of people that want to be in the house tomorrow night for Ja's first home game.
I love the swagger. I know there are some people that don't, but he backs it up. He's allowed to have that swagger. He's allowed to have that cockiness to a certain degree because he backs it up. When he was being interviewed after the game, I forget the reporter's name. Was it Andrews? Was it one of the Andrews sisters? I don't know who did it, but he's...
No, it's I can't remember her. I don't know.
Okay.
Stephanie, Reddy.
Reddy?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Well, she asked him about the final play, and he said, basically, give it to 12. Still talking in the third person, although not technically not saying, Ja, give it to Ja, but give it to 12. And that's what it is. It's a cockiness, but again, it's certainly a confident cockiness in what he can do on the court. And he backs it up. So these are the kind of guys that you want on your team. And you hate when you play teams that have those guys. And there are many of them around the NBA. But the Grizzlies have their guy back. I think you made a great point about Jaren Jackson Jr. and Des Bane. These are two really good players. Obviously, Jackson, Defensive Player of the Year last year. Des kind of on the precipice of being an all-star. But they're not Ja. You couldn't watch the Grizzlies previously. I mean, you're going to watch them if that's your team and covering the team in the media and all that. We're watching them. But they really weren't a fun team to watch the past 25 games. As I've always said, John Morant, and when he's playing for the Grizzlies, is must-watch television. There's not too many teams around the league that you would rather watch, if you're being honest, if you want excitement and things that you may never see or have never seen before. You never know what could happen in a game with Ja. They are must-watch television, and now it's back.
Yeah, I mean, again, there are really good players. There's all-stars. And then there's that elite group of superstar people, players. Ja is one of those guys. I mean, it's just the ability to do things that others just can't necessarily do. I mean, you can literally that is the thing. Like, he was asked out in the post-game press conference about just kind of the whole final stretch. And as he said, he's like, you guys have been around long enough. You know what time it is. Like, certain guys have that ability. Just give them the ball. Give them the ball. Let them do their thing. Let them make plays. And, he goes and gets the 3 buckets there in that final minute or whatever it was, maybe a little over a minute. Again, he took the one bad 3, but you'll forgive that because the other times, whenever he went in the lane, whatever he did, he scored every single time. And it's against bigger defenders. It doesn't matter. He finds a way. But it's, he's also in those situations. He's also willing to pass the ball if the time comes. He talked about, telling Desmond and telling Jaren that, hey, they still have to be aggressive. They've got to do their thing. If they've got to, he even talked about going at final possession. The idea of at first the thought of Jaren's got smaller defenders on him, and all night should we just go to him? But in the end, you say, nah, let's just give the ball to Ja and let him make the play.
And there's people that question whether or not, I think they even brought it up on the broadcast, why they didn't double Ja and get that ball out of his hands and have him throw it to somebody else on that final drive. But Herb Jones is a really good defender. He's also tall, and they thought that they had enough there. But once he spinned in the lane, and there were a couple of arms out there, I thought the ball was going to get blocked. He was able to float it in. Just incredible. But, yeah, I guess you could second guess in hindsight. Maybe they should have doubled him out front and really forced him to throw the ball to somebody else.
Certainly, I mean, you could make that, but I don't fault for them thinking that, yeah, I mean, you've got Herb Jones, who is a great defensive player, who has the size advantage. You trust that guy. You're like, hey, this is our defender. This is our guy. And if he can just stay in front of him, really contest the shot with his length. But again, yeah, Ja's got that much better. And, we'll see what happens going forward, but they certainly have a chance if he stays healthy, they stay healthy, they get Kennard back, they get Smart back, and all of these guys can stay healthy for the rest of the year. They've got a chance to make their way into the play-in or whatever. And as I've said before, there's going to be if they get into the play-in and get into the playoffs, there's going to be a 1 or 2 seed that is not real thrilled with their first-round matchup, that they feel like they earned something a little easier task than having to play the Grizzlies in the first round.
7-19 is not great, but it sounds better than 6-20. And the Grizzlies are now 7-19 after that win. And now there has to be, and I don't have to tell, or nobody has to tell Taylor Jenkins and his players that it's got to be a sense of urgency every single game. There can't be a night off, really, where you take it a little bit lightly. You have to go full force because, again, even with Ja Morant back, they're going to play some teams that are just formidable, and you're still missing a major cog. And I'm not even talking about Smart and Kennard. You're missing your bigs. You're missing Adams. You're missing Brandon Clark. And as far as the Memphis bigs in this particular game, Bismack Biyombo played 22 minutes, only had 2 rebounds, but he did score 8 points. He was a +3. And then Xavier Tillman, he played 20 minutes off the bench. He got you 6 rebounds. He had 7 points. He was a +3. So they did just enough because New Orleans and Memphis ended up outscoring them in the paint because Ja scored all his points inside. But the bigs for New Orleans had a field day against the Memphis bigs, and that's where you miss Adams. You had Brandon Ingram, who takes a lot of mid-range jumpers, but he had 34. Valanciunas is your big guy in the middle, the former Grizzly. He went for 22 and 14. He was dominant inside, and Zion ended up with 13 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists. So you were able to overcome that, offset that, rally from 19 down. But they have to play, again, like that every single game. There can't be a night off the rest of the way if you are to get back into this race. And it's a possibility. Like I said yesterday, I need to see the first 4 or 5 games with Ja returned. Even before, and Smart could be back as early as tomorrow. But I wanted to see 4 or 5 games where they are. Are they 2-3? Are they 1-4? Are they 4-1? Are they 5-0? And then I'll kind of get a real good feel whether or not I think they really can make this run to get into the play-in.
Some of the rotations, I don't understand what exactly they're doing at times. Like, it's weird how like guys can go from not playing at all one game to being like the first guy off the bench basically the next game. I know they're searching a little bit with the bench, but it's some of the stuff. And to me, there were way too long of stretches last night without at least 2 of Ja, Desmond, and Jaren on the floor. To me, 2 of those guys should be on the floor at all times. You rotate, whatever you rotate, you have to have 2 of those guys. And they spent some pretty good chunks with only 1, and they kept getting killed whenever they went to just one of those guys on the floor. To me, and I know right now you don't really have a backup point guard. You're using Dez. To me, of all the things, could Jacob Gilyard not give you 5 minutes in the game as your backup point guard. Like,
right. He actually played well the other day.
He could run your offense. Like, he gets you into your offense. But like, it's weird with some of the things when they go, like Roddy, all of a sudden, like Roddy's not, he goes from being a part of the rotation to then all of a sudden not playing. And then all of a sudden he throws him in the game in the second half. And you're like, why is he now like playing? It's some of the, like, Conchar will go like 3 games seemingly without playing. And then suddenly, like, he'll be like the 7th guy. And it's like, some of the rotations are very strange.
I don't know. And Tillman, DNPs, and then I know he was hurt a little bit too, but then he goes 20 minutes. I don't know if it's just simply searching for combinations. It may be just strictly analytics. They look at the games and the opponents. They look at the history. They look what these guys can do. Of course, you're right. Conchar, who had a lot of DNPs, plays 22 minutes. He gets you 8 rebounds. Maybe there was something they saw where Conchar could be very beneficial to the team. I have no idea. That's why they pay Taylor Jenkins the big bucks. But whatever it was last night, it worked. There was a lot of guys who had the plus next to their number. In fact, the only guys that were minus were Jaren Jackson Jr. at -2, Vince Williams Jr. at -8, and then a couple of guys off the bench, Santi Aldama at -5, and John Conchar, the aforementioned one, at -6. So, again, we're going to give you a chance to win some tickets to the big game tomorrow night. Tyrese Halliburton and Indiana, a very good team in FedEx Forum to take on the Grizzlies, and Ja's home return. But what a game it was. We'll talk more about that a little bit later on. When we come back, though, it's about the Tigers. Like I said, you're not going to get a better night than you did last night in Memphis sports. With the Tigers, with the Grizzlies, with the vote from the city council. Now today, you hope it's a big day for all the local teams as far as recruiting is concerned. I know for Ole Miss it's huge, but for Memphis it seems like it's going very, very well. We may not have all the numbers by the time we get off the air, but later on that will be announced, and we'll probably have somebody on tomorrow to kind of recap what's going on. But just a busy time and a very successful time for Memphis sports teams during the course of the last couple of days. I want to tell you folks about the Crazy Coop. You're looking for a great place for wings, and there are some good places in Memphis, no question about it, but one of them is the Crazy Coop, and if you haven't been there, you need to try them. 7199 Highway 64 between Appling and Kirby Whitten, that's out in Bartlett, and they have the Crazy Coop Express at 1315 Ridgeway. That is off Poplar Avenue. Delicious chicken wings. And what makes chicken wings the best is the seasonings, and they have 27 different seasonings at the Crazy Coop. You can go from mango habanero, the sweet taste of mango, followed by the heat. You can try the sweet maple bourbon. The taste will remind you of chicken and waffles. Or you can try something really hot, like the Crazy Sweet Lemon Pepper Hot or the Crazy Suicide. Again, 27 different flavorings, seasonings for your hot wings. You can go whole wings, party wings, boneless wings, delicious chicken tenders, those big chicken tenders. Ask about their crazy packs. In Bartlett, at the Bartlett location, you got the full menu. That includes the catfish sandwiches, the half-pound burgers, all the great sides like the fried okra, the green tomatoes, and the fried dill pickles. They will cater. You have an event coming up, little New Year's Eve party. You want it catered by the Crazy Coop? Just stop by or give them a call, and they will hook you up. You can order online. You can pick up or have any of the services delivered to your home or office. Find them on Instagram and on Facebook. It is the Crazy Coop. You've tried the rest, now try the best. 2 locations. They're at 7199 Highway 64 between Appling and Kirby Whitten, and the Crazy Coop Express at 1315 Ridgeway off Poplar. Just underway on a Wednesday. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Jenkins Floors and More in Hernando is growing. This family business started up 5 years ago with just 1 pallet, and now they have hundreds. Tim, the owner, gets calls from people everywhere and can sometimes save them up to 50% on wood flooring, carpet, tile, and vinyl. Jenkins Floors and More helps with renovations, home building, and installation. Jenkins Floors and More, number 6 East Commerce Street in Hernando. Also in Little Rock and coming soon to Tennessee. Call 662-469-9350 for more information.
Hey, Brent, love the color. If you had to choose, would you watch paint dry or compare benefits plans?
Compare benefits plans, obviously.
But you know how complicated benefits are, right?
Well, I run payroll with Gusto. Gusto makes it easy to find benefits like medical, dental, and vision for my whole team.
Whoa! Oh, sorry. I'm gonna need new glasses.
Don't worry, you're covered.
Choose benefits without the mess. Visit gusto.com/radio to sign up for free.
Get the home field advantage every time with Fairfield by Marriott, the official hotel of the NCAA. Whether you're a student athlete working towards your championship dreams or your team's biggest fan, Fairfield by Marriott has everything you need to get ready for game day, from comfortable guest rooms to a complimentary hot breakfast. Visit fairfield.marriott.com to book your next game day stay. Fairfield by Marriott, part of the Marriott Bonvoy portfolio of hotels, an official hotel of the NCAA.
A good friend of mine told me about this awesome place for lunch.
Oh, yeah? What's the name?
Neil's Grill and Bar, where the fat man rocks. Everybody knows Neil.
Where's it located?
It's located in Yorkshire Square off of Quince.
And what's it like?
The best lunch place in Memphis. You know, like real mashed potatoes and gravy. Everything is made from scratch. Monday through Friday, daily lunch specials like Monday baked chicken, Italian Tuesday, spaghetti, ravioli, Italian spinach, delicious fried catfish, fried chicken livers every Wednesday, Friday, Salisbury steak, barbecue chicken, or if you just want a vegetable plate, the best veggies in town.
What about the lunch price?
Meat and 2 veggies, $8.95. Meat and 3 veggies, $10.95. And veggie plate, $9.95. Big fat boy portions, man.
Man, you're making me hungry.
Come hear the best live local music at Neil's. Eddie Smith plays Sundays 5 to 9, Mondays karaoke, Tuesdays Debbie Jameson, Wednesdays Elmo and the Shades, Thursdays John Williams and the A440 Band at Neil's.
Where the fat man rocks.
Sports 56 traffic brought to you by Curfew.
Enjoy the ultimate dining experience at Curfew. Wednesday is Wing Wednesday with sweet fire chicken wings and fries for just $18 and $2 off draft beers. Curfew American Tavern Craft Cocktails, your new destination. 164 Union Avenue, main floor of the Canopy Hotel.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. Traffic's on the increase even more out here in the last few minutes on 385 Billmore's Parkway. That still looks pretty good, actually, headed towards 240 as you come out of Collierville, coming down the interstate over here on I-40 and 269, and from Fayette County. It looks pretty positive right now. Normally, it would start to build down through there on 40 going west all the way up to Whitten Road. Just watch for some radar out here. This morning, you're going to see more and more of that over the next few days. Weimer's Jewelry, located 7525 Highway 64, is your last-minute Christmas shopping headquarters. Go by and see them today and save a lot of money by shopping local at Weimer's Jewelry. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware at the corner of White Station and Quince. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
While it was a dramatic finish in New Orleans, Ja Morant capping off his return and his 34-point night with a deuce at the buzzer to win it for the Grizzlies. The Memphis Tigers were taking the Virginia Cavaliers behind the old woodshed, an old-fashioned butt-whipping. 77-54, the Memphis Tigers over the Virginia Cavaliers, number 23 over number 22, as the Tigers improved to 9-2, and they make history. Their first ever back-to-back-to-back wins over ranked opponents. The Tigers jumped out to that...
In the regular season.
The Tigers jumped out to a 13-2 lead. You had a run by Virginia, but the Tigers never really were in trouble in this game. They were just the better team. The pressure certainly got to Virginia, as Tony Bennett said after the game. They were able to use their athleticism. They played some smothering defense on Virginia. And that's the problem when you don't have a great offensive team. When you fall behind, it is tough to rally. And Virginia, which has a talented team, got behind and never really could get back into the game.
Yeah, to go wire to wire against a good Virginia team. Virginia likes to play games in the 50s. They did play in the 50s last night. Unfortunately, the Tigers played in the 70s. That's a bad way to try and do it. David Jones is, you've got his ability to score at every level is pretty special. His ability to get to the free throw line, He is tough to guard. There really isn't a good matchup for him defensively because he can do it from the outside. He can go inside. He can do whatever he needs to do. This team, is playing extremely well. Looks really good and looks like they will get better with the official announcement of Naquan Tomlin, who will be eligible to play now. So that's an impressive little 3-game stretch. Even with a couple of them at home, to do what they did and to completely dominate Virginia the way they did, very impressive.
Plus minus doesn't always tell the story, but you had 25 for David Jones, a plus 25, a plus 24 for Javon Quinterly, a plus 26 for Malcolm Dandridge. When those three played together, they were unstoppable on the floor. There was one time in the game when Penny went to the bench and took both Quinterly and Jones out. And I saw the 5 out on the floor, and I thought to myself, there's no scoring here. Where's the scoring going to come from? And they did get a nice contribution from Caleb Mills, who went for 14. But they really didn't have the scorers out there. And within, I'm telling you, 30 seconds, he brought Jones back into the game. I don't know if he realized that or maybe one of the coaches realized that, but they have to have one of those two, in my opinion, on the floor always. One of the two. Obviously, they'll have both of them on the floor for the big portion of the game. But my gosh, David Jones, he's incredible. And the Grizzlies and the Tigers, they beat Virginia in basically every category there was.
The crazy, there's a couple crazy, like the second chance points is insane. When Virginia had 11 offensive rebounds, the Tigers had 6, but the Tigers outscore them 14-4 in second chance points. First of all, if you just do that math, 6 offensive rebounds leading to 14 second chance points, that's hard to do. That's obviously more than 2 points per offensive rebound. Very hard to do, but the Tigers did that. They were able to turn Virginia over.
That's the key.
Which Virginia doesn't do.
Right.
Virginia doesn't turn the ball over. Tigers turned them over.
They turned them over 18 times.
18 times. 27-8 advantage in the points off turnovers.
That's all you need to see.
If you can dominate points off turnovers, you can dominate second chance points, you're generally going to dominate a game.
Right.
And impressive defensive performance to force that many turnovers out of a Virginia team, again, that just doesn't turn the ball over generally. That's more than twice their average when it comes to turnovers. So really just all around, they held them at the 3-point line. They turned them over. Tigers shot the ball well at the free throw line, get cashed in on second chance opportunities every single time. It was just a dominating performance.
Yeah, Ryan Dunn in a nice game for Virginia, 11 points, 11 rebounds, but he was a minus 22 out there. Beekman is probably an NBA player, had 13 points, hit 5 of 8 shots, but he only got 8 shots. Memphis did a good job. They really did. And some of those bigs that Virginia have, and they do a good job in setting screens, and they'll kind of roll off a double screen and take an open shot, but they were not good. They were 4 of 19 from 3. Memphis coming off the 4 of 26, was it?
Mm-hmm.
Went 9 of 23. You'll take 9 of 23 any day of the week. Memphis made their free throws. They were 14 of 17. Again, rebounding was even at 32, despite Memphis being out-rebounded on the offensive glass 11-6. But the key, to me, was just the turnovers. Forcing 18 turnovers against a team, like you said, that does not turn the ball over and scoring 27 points off those turnovers. Whereas Virginia turned Memphis over 12 times. They only scored 8 points off those turnovers. That was the difference in the game. Bench scoring Memphis 23-12. And that's one thing that Memphis really has an advantage over a lot of teams is that bench. And it's going to be only better now with the arrival of Tomlin, depending on what they want to do as far as whether start Malco and Tomlin together, have Tomlin come off the bench, have Malco come off the bench, Tomlin play the 5. Tomlin's versatile, can play 4 or 5. He can guard all 5 positions, according to Penny Hardaway, who talked about him last night after the game. But I can't say enough. I can't wait to talk to Andy Borman at 8:05 about this Tigers team. This is the best team Penny's had. There's no question about it. The senior leadership has really been evident. And
they had a situation with Jordan Brown, who won't be a part of the team, even though nothing has been announced officially. And that's the only thing really that could splinter this team is any kind of chemistry issues. Right now, they seem to be a cohesive group, and we'll see how they integrate this young big who's 6'10". It was nice to see him yesterday. He's signing autographs. He's taking pictures with people. But Tomlin's going to have to fit in nicely as far as the scheme of the whole team. He can't go in there looking for just what he can do for himself. And if he does that, this is a major, major weapon that Penny Hardaway is adding. But strategically wise, Penny is coaching extremely well. Again, I think it benefits to have a veteran like Stansbury, but Penny's the one calling the plays, making the decisions, and he's doing a very, very good job. That was a tough chess match when you play against a team that's got a complete 180 contrasting style from what you do, and you're able to win. It was checkmate pretty early in that one.
The thing is, now last night they did make the change in the starting lineup, and which I think they should have done. And
they should have, but I thought maybe he wouldn't because of superstition.
They still Jaquan Walton still can't really get it going again. He started there the first 2 games of the year. He was 6 of 9 from 3-point range in those 2 games.
Right.
Since then, he is 4 of 33.
Jeez.
He's 0 for 11 in the last 3 games. He's 1 for 16 in the last 5. Or no, take that back. He is 1 for 18 in the last 6 games. It's like he can't make a 3. Dude can't make a 3 for some reason. If they can get him going offensively, I don't. Good luck. I don't even know what teams could possibly do to try and stop that. But it's funny too because Ashton, who again started 3 games, did not score a single point, comes off the bench and immediately, and he brought him in early. He brought him in less than 4 minutes into the game, and he immediately hits a 3 when he first came into the game. Ends up with a couple of 3s in the game, but I mean, it's they again when you've got a guy like Jones, and then when you've got a leader, floor general type guy like Quinterly. To kind of run things, but you have the abilities of the other guys. So many different guys who can score. You've got length, you've got athleticism, you got on the defensive end. This team they're tough to match up with.
Yeah, it is kind of a mystery why Walton has become a bricklayer from outside after the torrid start he opened up the season with. But what I like about Jaquan is a couple of things. The last couple of games, he has gone to the hole. He had 10, I believe it was 10 in the win over Clemson, and 6 last night getting inside and using his length. I mean, he is a long guy. Plus, he's playing really good defense. He had 5 rebounds. He had a steal, couple of steals, in fact. He had an assist. So he's doing other things to merit his 26 and a half minutes on the court. But you got to think
actually he's 1 for 21 in his last 6 games.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. There's a lid on the jar with him shooting the 3. But Walton does a lot of other positive things. Now, it's Ashton's interesting. I'm sitting next to my son, and I said, this is going to be a play for Ashton to take a 3 in the corner. Boom. Right away. I don't know how I knew that, but I had a feeling that was designed right there to kick it to Ashton in the corner, and he hits the 3. The problem is, the next 2 possessions for Virginia, Ashton was out of place twice. They got a 3, and then they had a dunk. And he didn't play a lot of minutes. He's learning the college game. On the defensive end, he's going to have no problem as far as offense is concerned. He's going to be able to shoot the ball from 3 because he's taller than a lot of players, and he's going to get better and better as his career progresses. But he has to get better on the defensive end. Not making the right decision. So there were a couple of issues there. I think people know what I'm talking about. Memphis got out to the quick lead, and then you saw Virginia come back after Penny had gone to the bench and brought some subs in. It was just the communication defensively was not good.
Yeah, I mean Ashton's obviously he's still what you're talking 11 games in his college career. I mean he doesn't have great foot speed, so he's got to be very smart defensively.
Yes.
It's not, he can't, it's not like he's going to be a great defender, against some smaller guys who a lot of times he's going to end up guarding. So he's got to be very smart on the defensive end.
No question about it. All right, when we come back, the city council votes, and it's good news for the University of Memphis. We'll go over those details, and then we'll take your calls and texts at 901-360-8255. We got Andy Borman joining us at 8:05, Tigers assistant basketball coach. Don't forget to get your 5 favorite things lists into us, your 5 favorite professional athletes of all time, but they have to be current athletes, and they have to be playing right now. Doesn't matter what sport, but they have to be active as far as professional athletes. Get your 5 favorite. Get your lists into us via the Sports 56 listener lines by texting in at 901-360-8255, or send it via Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, or send it to the website sportsmemphis.com.
We do have some text on the Tigers and Grizzlies, and you can continue to send those, 901-360-8255, 901-360-8255. We will be getting to your texts, and, of course, you could call in as well. Fleet Feet is the place to go to get all your running gear. You want to make sure you get shoes that are perfect for you. Go see the folks at Fleet Feet. They'll do that for you. They'll take a look at the way you run, the way you walk, and fit you with shoes that are just right for you. If you've got any runners on that holiday list, well, go to Fleet Feet. They take good care of you and any gift ideas that you need. Maybe you know exactly what they need and get it, but maybe you don't know exactly what they need. Well, get them a gift card because they'll certainly find something at Fleet Feet that they can use. Fleet Feet has 2 locations for you. Then in East Memphis, it's in the Laurelwood Shopping Center. Out in Collierville at Poplar and Houston Levy, next door to Huey's. You could go see them at either one of those 2 locations. You can also find them online, fleetfeetmemphis.com, on social media as well, where they keep you up to date with all the things they've got going on at Fleet Feet.
You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Do you have equipment taking up space in your shed or on your lot? What do you do if those pieces are really big? Ever wondered their value? Purple Wave Auction is an online auction company that sells used equipment. Thousands of items are up for bid right now at purplewave.com. Our transparent auction process makes it easy to sell that Kenworth semi you have sitting behind the barn. Or how about an upgrade to your New Holland Workmaster? Take a moment and check out purplewave.com. Purple Wave Auction, straight, simple, sold.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
Sports 56 listeners are smart. Smart enough to listen to Sports 56 and smart enough to get 25% off at Oak Court Salon. Ashley Waddell and Lane Lascola are expert stylists at Oak Court, and because they listen to Sports 56 and you listen to Sports 56, Ashley and Lane are giving you 25% off your first appointment. That's for cuts, color, highlights, balayage, Brazilian blowouts, and split-end treatments. Book today and save 25% at sports56.glossgenius.com.
Hey friends, Bill Russell at Russell Brothers Fine Jewelers, and it's crunch time now. But don't worry, just because you waited until the last minute doesn't mean you will miss out on anything, at least not at Russell Brothers. We have a huge inventory of the most magnificent jewelry you've ever seen. Whatever you think would please her, whether it's a pair of diamond studs or a stunning silver or gold bangle bracelet. Maybe it's a beautiful sapphire pendant or a spectacular gemstone and diamond ring. We've got anything your lady would want, and when you give her a gift, beautifully wrapped in a Russell Brothers box, you know you've given her the finest quality that's available. Since 1985, Russell Brothers has been helping Memphis men be the smartest Santa possible. So if you want to give her a gift that will last a lifetime, come see us at Russell Brothers. It is getting down to the wire, but don't settle for less than the best. She deserves it. Russell Brothers Fine Jewelers, 4646 Poplar at Perkins.
Experience the taste of Italy at Little Italy's newest location in East Memphis at Massey and Poplar. Little Italy has great Italian food with all your favorite dishes, from lasagna, rigatoni vodka, Alfredo, even lobster ravioli. Try Little Italy's very generous hot calzone, stuffed with your choice of meats and melted cheeses. East Memphis Little Italy wants to spoil you with a piece of Italy you can feel, taste, see, enjoy, and eat. East Memphis Little Italy, hidden in the back at the corner of Massey and Poplar.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware at the corner of White Station and Quince. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
It was a long day and long night with the city council, and finally they got to the stadium issue, and it was once again pretty heated as far as the conversation is concerned. I wasn't there from everything I read. Fred Jones from the Southern Heritage Classic still has issues with the whole situation, and it ended up passing, though. 7-1 was the vote. I think there was one that was abstained as far as the voting is concerned, but it does get passed. So the city of Memphis will now hand over the Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium and the operations to the University of Memphis. All they need now is final approval when the minutes of the next meeting are passed, but that is a mere formality. So even though there were a few people that had issues with it, it gets passed. Now the university will run the stadium. Not anything else, not the parking, not Tiger Lane, not all that stuff out there. They will run the stadium and everything that happens in the stadium. So it certainly does affect the Southern Heritage Classic, the AutoZone Liberty Bowl game, concerts that may come there. But now it looks like it is the green light that they needed to once again have the Smith family's $50 million donation to the cause come through. They have to match the $50 million, but they could start, I would imagine, soon after the AutoZone Liberty Bowl game with construction of the renovations for Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium. It is a win-win, I think, for everybody. I don't know what Fred's issues were, but the thing got passed finally.
Yeah, and I was not able to get my the clause in there for them to hand over Mid-South Coliseum to me.
You tried, though.
I tried. I tried my hardest, but lo and behold, I was not able to pull it off. They were not willing to give me the keys.
Here is a statement from the University of Memphis. We are incredibly appreciative of the City Council for sharing our vision and voting to approve the resolution on Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium, which will position our university and football program for sustained success. We look forward to working collaboratively in the coming weeks with the city administration, the Southern Heritage Classic, the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, and the USFL, soon to be, the USL, to formalize agreements that will set us all up for success into the future.
UFL.
Whatever it is, UFL, USL, USL, USFL, WFL, XFL, AFL, whatever the case is. But there you go. The university will run the show, and again, I can't imagine there's any more speed bumps, any more potholes that they got to maneuver through to get this thing started right after the AutoZone Liberty Bowl game.
Well, there's potholes, but those are still city responsibility.
Yeah, that's the city. The university doesn't deal with that. 360-8255. Keith is first up. Hi, Keith.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Y'all. Hey, Merry Christmas to you first.
You too.
And
Merry
I hope
Christmas.
you're feeling better, Greg.
Thank you, sir.
All right. So 15 steals. That's pretty awesome. Offensive rebounds were not great. Defensive rebounds were good. 3-point, not great. Free throws were good. And Malco was big. And Virginia coach Tony Bennett said, and he's a great coach, y'all know that. Mm-hmm. He said, we could not even dribble the ball. We were just, we couldn't do anything right against that defense. So the defense was just off the chart. Mm-hmm. And I'm glad Penny took the starters out at the end of the game.
Isn't that amazing that they were able to bring in subs and clear the bench against Virginia? That's huge. That doesn't happen often. It's
amazing to me, Greg.
It is. Thank you, Keith. Appreciate the call. The only thing I would disagree with is he said not so good the three-point shooting. Three-point shooting was good.
for Memphis. They were 9 of 23. That's 39.1%. You'll take that.
Yeah, anything around 40%, certainly. Really over 35%, you'll certainly take. While again, the offense, they didn't have a ton of offensive rebounds. If you're going to convert at the rate they converted the offensive rebounds, you don't need that many. Again, they scored 14 points off 6 offensive rebounds. If you can do that, then you don't need as many offensive rebounds.
Well, we'll ask Andy Borman when he joins us at 8:05. This, I would imagine, and maybe Penny was asked last night, but I wasn't there for the post-game press conference. Is that the best performance of the year? I would say it has to be. They played really well on the road, winning at Texas A&M, but they couldn't find the ocean from the pier shooting 3-pointers.
The second half last night was reminiscent of the second half against Missouri, where they just smothered, like they basically put a team in lockdown. They couldn't do Virginia, like Missouri, couldn't do anything in the second half of that game. Like, it was just like, we aren't going to allow you to breathe, basically.
Exactly. And let me correct myself. The poor 3-point shooting was the Clemson game in which they won. The Texas A&M game, I don't remember how they shot from the 3. I'm sure it was better than 4 of 26. But to go 9 of 23, you'll take that any day of the week. They hit 14 of 17 free throws. That's 82%. Field goal percentage, they ended up at 47.4%. And they allowed just 39.3% to Virginia. So they keep Virginia under 40% shooting. It has to be the best overall performance of the season. In my opinion, I think in the opinion of many, and we'll see what Coach Andy Borman has to say about that. And now, again, you're getting another player in Naquan Tomlin, and not just an ordinary player. A player who has only had one season of Division I basketball. This will be the one year that he could play at Memphis. He's done with his eligibility after that because he went to a bunch of junior colleges. But you have a guy who had double-figure scoring in every single game for Kansas State into their run into the Elite Eight, was dominant at times. He's versatile, could step out and hit a 3 occasionally, but not really a 3-point shooter, but definitely a guy who's mobile, can get up and down the court, can block shots, play defense, and as long as that chemistry is there between those players, sky's the limit.
Some text messages here on the Sports 56 listener line at 901-360-8255. Tiger Steve texted. He says, last night in the skybox behind me in the lower bowl, it was full of young Virginia fans. At the start of the game, they were constantly calling out how they are the best defense in the country. One of their players was a first-round draft pick, and so on and so on. Needless to say, 5 minutes into the second half, they started hollering at their coach to do something. They were hilarious. Raider Corey texts in, says, Ja hasn't played in 8 months, but he didn't miss a beat. Tomorrow night can't get here quick enough. And this Penny coaching trajectory or era is very similar to Calipari's. It took about 6 years. This Penny team is very deep and dangerous. Another texter says, Ja back and already looking like he didn't miss a beat for the Grizzlies. Let's see here.
Yeah, I would say Ja exceeded all our expectations. We all thought he would certainly make an impact because he always does. But to do what he did, again, beyond comprehension.
Another texter says that Ole Miss win over Memphis is looking really good for Ole Miss now. Certainly, as Ole Miss got another win last night. Matthew Morrell, by the way, 10 steals last night.
10 steals?
School record at Ole Miss, 10 steals, double-double, with the steals being they. You don't see that one very often. That's not your average double-double when you go get 10 steals in the game, but that's what Matthew Morrell did last night for Ole Miss.
That's a rarity. And for Ole Miss and for Memphis, right? They want each other to continue to win.
Another texter who was a little critical of David Jones the other day says, okay, I was wrong about David Jones. Seems like when he's on the bench, they struggle to score. Reggie says, yes, Ashton is a freshman and may be a liability on defense, but in my opinion, he's one of the best 3-point shooters right now. When the team gets up and Penny try to put the opponent away by shooting threes, Ashton is the guy. There's no doubt he's one of the best shooters on the team as far as just pure shooting. He's clearly that. And that's why there are minutes for him. I don't think he should be in the starting lineup. I didn't like him in the starting lineup, but there certainly are minutes for Ashton Hardaway, and they certainly trust his shooting. Hell, the last play of the Ole Miss game was drawn up for Ashton Hardaway to shoot the 3 to try and send that game into overtime. So yeah, there's no doubt they trust him and understand they're going to get him on the floor.
I have no problem with who he's using, how much he's using each player
the rotation he's using. I just don't want to see any time where Jones or Quinterly's not on the court. And that was short-lived last night. By the way, David Jones, and I haven't looked at an NBA mock draft, but I heard that he was just slipped into the late second round. That's blasphemy. David Jones has to be moving up. And if people are not recognizing him, they're going to miss out. This guy's an NBA player.
No, he could score at every level. He could shoot it from three. His ability to get to the free throw line, that's, and then he makes them. That's the key. He gets to the free throw line a ton, and he's a good free throw shooter. Even on bad nights, he ends up with 20 points or so because he ends up with 8, 9, 10 points at the free throw line seemingly every game.
Yep, Jones with 26 and 4 rebounds. Quinterly had 9 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds. He certainly fills the stat sheet. Malco, 9 points, 8 rebounds, 3 steals, 2 assists, a plus 26. I had a guy right behind me screaming the whole time, MVP, about Malco. Malco was certainly one of the MVPs last night for the Tigers. Greg is dialed in at 360-8255. Hey, Greg.
Hey, guys. How y'all doing this morning?
Good, thank you.
Good. It's just, I was thinking about the conversation we had the other morning about the potential of this team.
Yeah.
But what I want to say is I'm glad they won that game because some of the powers that don't believe in this Tiger program couldn't wait for them to lose that game to snatch them back out of the top 25.
Right.
And it's a shame that what's happening with Memphis is so ludicrous. I look at Clemson, I'm like, where is their big wins? But they dropped 5, but the Tigers only got to 23. That was a charity ranking, and I'm going to say it, and I'm going to leave that right there. The question I've got, do you guys feel that this conference has enough to keep these guys tuned up? That's the only thing. No program goes to a conference without some kind of adversity.
Right.
I'm hoping that this conference has enough to at least keep this school
sharp,
this program tuned, because, like I said, I can see them making a Final Four.
Gotcha. Thank you, Greg. Appreciate it. Yeah, the answer to that is no on the surface, but it is the conference. And I know Cal used to always say, we're the Super Bowl for every team out there. Well, there's no question that teams will really be jacked up to play Memphis and certainly Florida Atlantic as well after Florida Atlantic's run last year. So there will be some challenges. Don't think it's just going to be a cakewalk every game. There will be games that come down to the wire and you're going, what is going on here? Why are they struggling against East Carolina? What's happening here? But there's a couple of teams that have life. Certainly Tulane is one of them. But Florida Atlantic is the big challenge for Memphis. Other than that, there's just not a lot of roadblocks I don't see. And the key, will it keep the team sharp? It's probably going to be one of those deals where Penny says it's not about us. It's not about them. It's about us to keep ourselves sharp for when we get to the conference tournament and then on to the NCAA tournament.
They will likely be favored in every game until the final game of the regular season.
Is that at Florida Atlantic?
Yeah. And they could be favored in that one. We'll see what happens.
Right.
But
yes,
they will be favored for. You've won 4 in a row. You're going to be favored to win the next. I don't know how many games that is.
It'll be 20 more games. They've played. Yeah, they got 20 more games to go.
Yeah, I guess because there's 18 conference games, so 17 conference games plus the 2 more non-conference. So you're going to be favored in the next 19 games. So if you win the games you're favored in, they will have a 23-game winning streak going to the final game of the season at Florida Atlantic.
And like you said, still could be a favorite in that one. Yeah, that's pretty incredible when you think about it. So,
I mean, look at Ken Palm has them projected to win every game until the Florida Atlantic road game, the final game of the regular season.
You would be 28-3. 28-3 regular season. That's got to get you an amazingly high seed. It has to, because now people are noticing what Memphis is. That's why you play the type of schedule that Penny put together. You have to with the conference that you play in. People are taking notice, but you're going out there and you're winning those games. And so far early in his career, they would have those opportunities in those early season tournaments, and they would lose 2 out of 3. They would lose that opening game, and all of a sudden you're behind the 8 ball. But as, who was it, Corey that said, it's kind of a trajectory that's similar to John Calipari. And it is. People have thrown that out there. There's no question about it.
Johnny, who's watching on Twitter, X Twitter, whatever, says David Jones only shot 69 free throws last season. He has transformed his game to get to the basket. Yeah, he is just a better player. And that's why I don't, people, I think nationally did not know. I mean, partially he was at DePaul, he was at St. John's, they weren't winning, it was bad teams, so you kind of get lost there. I don't think anybody expected him to be this type of player that he's been, going out and getting 20 a night pretty much regularly. Nationally, he's certainly opening a lot of eyes for people with what he's done.
Let's be honest, when Memphis and Penny went out and got the players in the summer that he did in the portal, people were going gaga, and I was, over Jordan Brown and Javon Quinterly. David Jones was kind of that last-second addition, and I didn't think much of David Jones. Then all of a sudden they played the Dominican Republic national team in the DR, and he went off against the team that he was going to play for in college. And I thought, well, maybe he's just that good because he plays with those guys all the time, and those guys maybe are better. Their chemistry's better than Memphis. Memphis was kind of just getting together for the first time, right? They had a few practices leading up to it. But David Jones is, man, he's the real deal, the absolute real deal. I know there's a lot of folks that want to call in and talk about the Tigers, talk about Ja. We will get to you guys a little bit later on in the show. When we return, though, it's Tigers assistant basketball coach Andy Borman on a great week for the University of Memphis. You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hey friends, Bill Russell at Russell Brothers Fine Jewelers, and it's crunch time now. But don't worry, just because you waited until the last minute doesn't mean you will miss out on anything, at least not at Russell Brothers. We have a huge inventory of the most magnificent jewelry you've ever seen. Whatever you think would please her, whether it's a pair of diamond studs or a stunning silver or gold bangle bracelet. Maybe it's a beautiful sapphire pendant or a spectacular gemstone and diamond ring. We've got anything your lady would want, and when you give her a gift, beautifully wrapped in a Russell Brothers box, you know you've given her the finest quality that's available. Since 1985, Russell Brothers has been helping Memphis men be the smartest Santa possible. So if you want to give her a gift that will last a lifetime, come see us at Russell Brothers. It is getting down to the wire, but don't settle for less than the best. She deserves it. Russell Brothers Fine Jewelers, 4646 Poplar at Perkins.
The season has changed. You know how I know? It's finally here, the Family Leisure Christmas Sale. Excellent deals on pool tables, shuffleboards, and saunas. Oh, we're just beginning. Tired and sore from shopping? Check out the huge selection in stock of hot tubs and massage chairs. Oh, and you can surprise the kids with the best stuff, like a new arcade, a game table, even a play gym. Gifts for the whole family to enjoy and enjoy together. Also on sale, theater seating, outdoor kitchens and grills, patio furniture, and fire pits. Merry Christmas from our family to yours. That's Family Leisure of Memphis. Every year we wait. They always deliver. They've done it again. The Family Leisure Christmas Sale is happening at I-40 and Whitten Road. That's 2120 Whitten Road to be exact. That's the place of shopping heaven. Family Leisure, where family and fun all come together.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. If you need a new roof for your home or business, we hope to hear from you and will work hard to earn your business. We are experts and certified in residential and commercial roofing, siding, and gutter installation. I have been serving the Memphis area for over 20 years, and now with 2 of my sons working with me, we plan to be here for years to come. So if you need a roof, please give us a call. On a personal note, what a great time it is to be a Memphis sports fan. With the Grizzlies and the Redbirds and 901 FC, not to mention Tigers football and basketball, It's going to be a fun year. Thanks to Coach Silverfield and Coach Hardaway and their staffs for their dedication to the student and athletes, the University of Memphis, the City of Memphis, and us fans. Five Ash Roof Services, a proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. Five Ash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
It's our season of giving back at Gossett Kia on the Pike, and we've got the perfect holiday gift for you. Hit the road with 41 MPG Highway 2023 Kia Forte LXS, $239 a month, $27.99 due at signing. Get road-ready SUV Seat 7 2023 Kia Sorento LX, $319 a month, $34.99 due at signing. And 8-passenger seating in your new 2024 Kia Telluride LX, $459 a month, $34.99 due at signing, all 36-month lease. Plus, you'll get peace of mind with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Ask for Bobby J. He's ready to put you in a new Kia today. Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, or online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 650 acquisition P Forte RE 699,094 MSRP 21,385 Sorrento PG 242,710 MSRP 33,010 Telluride RG 462 2822 MSRP 38,705 includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax title license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 1/2/2024. Dealer stock only.
Sports 56 traffic brought to you by Curfew.
Enjoy the ultimate dining experience at Curfew. Wednesday is Wing Wednesday with sweet fire chicken wings and fries for just $18 and $2 off draft beers. Curfew American Tavern Craft Cocktails, your new destination. 164 Union Avenue, main floor of the Canopy Hotel.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. Starting to slow down over here now on 40 westbound as you come past Sycamore View Road, getting on that 240 flyover. A lot of that traffic is getting off there onto Sam Cooper. Still looks pretty good right now, actually, on 55 northbound up through South Haven. It's slowly but surely gaining some volume on Billmore Parkway 385 coming in from Collierville. 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services here in the Memphis area. You need Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. They're online at tomahawkcrane.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Genuine diamonds, baby.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
We are basking in the glory of a great night in Hoop City with the Memphis Tigers and their big win over Virginia, the Memphis Grizzlies, the return of John Morant and his incredible 34-point performance in his return, game-winning shot at the buzzer to beat New Orleans, and, of course, the vote that has come through from the city council giving the University of Memphis the opportunity to now run the show of Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium, which is the green light they needed to move forward as far as the renovations are concerned, and that is expected right after the end of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl game, so rapidly approaching. Great day all around for the city of Memphis. Currently, weather-wise, as you get your hump day ready to go, 35 degrees, sunshine. We're looking at partly sunny skies throughout the afternoon with a high of 59, so a little bit warmer than yesterday. Partly cloudy tonight with a low of 37. Second hour of the program brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers. They are your family's jeweler. I'll give you more details about James Gaddis Jewelers in just a few moments, but right now it's time to talk to Andy Borman.
It's time to talk Memphis Tigers basketball. Joining Sports 56 Mornings is Tigers assistant coach Andy Borman. Now, here's Coach Borman with Greg and Eli.
Like I said, it was a great night all around for Memphis basketball. The University of Memphis, ranked for the first time this year, went out as a ranked team and beat a ranked team in Virginia 77-54. Got the good news as well about Naquan Tomlin. So smiles all around, Andy Borman. How are you this morning?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing fantastic. The question I wanted to ask you that I told people I would is, was that performance last night against Virginia your best all-around team performance of the season?
Yeah, I mean, I think the result obviously would make us say that. You know, I think playing at home especially when that place is packed, is just such an incredible advantage for us. So I would, yes and no. I want to say yes, right? I think the win at A&M was incredibly, like playing on the road and getting one.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I'd say flip a coin, but who's going to complain about that argument about what's a better win? Goodness, let's keep having these conversations.
Absolutely.
No doubt about that. You last night, Virginia doesn't turn the ball over generally. You guys were able to force them into 18 turnovers. What were the keys defensively? Why did you have the success turning them over?
I mean, I just think Coach Hardaway had an incredible game plan. I mean, what a coach. And then our guys, really executed it. And that's something he's been harping on them, carry out the game plan for 40 minutes, not for 15, not for 20, let's stick to it throughout. And then once again, the energy of the building, because to play that type of defense, I mean, these guys are buzzing all over the floor and they're running relentlessly, so to have that sixth man and that energy obviously helps as well, but we were trying to keep the ball out of their point guard's really good. Beekman is really, really good. And we're trying to keep the ball out of his hands and make things as difficult for him as possible and make the rest of their team ball handlers. And, the guys just carried out the plan.
What I liked is after the big win on Saturday, you waited to see if you were going to be ranked. And I know it's not the most important thing in the world, but you found out you were ranked. And instead of coming out sluggish, fat and happy, we're now in the top 25, you guys were on a mission to prove that you belong in the top 25 and certainly want to move up the rankings. And you go out there and you get out to the start that you got out to. When you play a team like Virginia, which is, I'm not going to say they're hamstrung offensively, but they're more known for their defense. So when you could take a big lead on them, and they made their runs, but certainly you feel pretty confident that if you can get out on them and just continue to push the accelerator, that they probably don't have enough offensive firepower to come back and beat you.
Yeah, and we've needed to start fast. We've had a handful of games, where we started slow. And the thing is, it kind of seemed like we needed to get punched before we started punching back. So we were in a fight where we threw the first punch, and then we stayed at it. And you're absolutely right. They made runs, and they're going to because they're a good team. But we never let up, and we just wore them out. Every single guy that stepped on the floor for us brought great energy. And as a collective, right, this wasn't just one of those games where, like, one guy goes off. Right. As a collective, we just wore them down. They had to be exhausted at the end of that game.
These last two games, we've talked about rebounding all year. It was certainly a problem early in the year. These last two games, now last night you did give up more offensive rebounds than you got, but you still outscored them 14-4 in second chance points. Saturday you outscored Clemson 14-4 in second chance points. Are you feeling better about the rebounding? I know you guys still aren't satisfied, but are you feeling better about the effort on the rebounding?
Yeah, definitely. And you said it, right? Like, job's not done, not satisfied at all, right? But also, I believe it was the 4-minute, media in the second half. I want to say our rebounding margin, we were like a +6 or a +7, and they closed it out. And I think we ended up even, but a lot of their, right, they're trailing and they're chasing by 15 to 20 points.
Yeah.
And so, obviously, if we would have wrote it out all the way to the buzzer, I think we finished with like a +5, +6, but we controlled the glass for the most part in that game. And we just got to keep doing that, and if we can do that, because especially the way Coach Hardaway, the versatility of this team and the way he plays these lineups, there are lineups out there where we've got 5 guards. So if we can win that battle and still have the extreme versatility of our team, man, we're going to be dangerous.
As impressed as I was with especially the margin of victory last night, I was more impressed by the win against Clemson on Saturday. I thought that was the one that you could lose. I thought you were going to beat Virginia, and you did. But Clemson with that front line with P.J. Hall, he's definitely an NBA player. We were talking about the rebounding issues, right? So going into that game, I wondered, boy, how are they going to be able to handle that Clemson front line and to be able to play the way you guys did and do so despite going 4 of 26 from beyond the arc. You look at the numbers and you go, how did Memphis win this game? But you won, and you made stops down the stretch. Defensive intensity in those final few possessions for Virginia was incredible. And then, of course, it comes down to a missed free throw, and you got the rebound and put it away. But I thought that one was more, in my opinion, the more impressive win.
I mean, goodness, how long ago does that game feel like? I don't know about I don't know about you guys. I literally feel like we played that game a month ago.
That's incredible. That's incredible.
Yeah, it is. It is. And and then factor that in with just like the gauntlet of just like high major. That was obviously a huge win, and they are really good. We have wins that are going to age like a fine wine. Like these teams these teams we're beating are good, and they're going to go out and have terrific years, and they're going to finish really high in their conferences. But Clemson in particular, I mean, with Hall and the kid Shefflin, is just an animal, and the kid Wiggins.
Oh gosh, he's good.
Yeah, I mean, they go like 6'10", 6'9", 6'11", and they're all really good, and to withstand, it was like watching a Rocky movie. They're standing in the middle of the ring, no one's near the ropes, and they're just beating the heck out of each other. And to come out on top. It really was incredible, and honestly, if we just make a couple free throws,
sure,
then we finish out comfortably. But that was a heavyweight fight.
The possession in that game with about a minute to go, where you ended up getting the shot clock violation, I feel like that Malcolm Dandridge on that possession is like what you guys you should play that constantly, like the epitome of effort and what you need to be able to do on the defensive end on every possession.
Yeah, I mean, that shows, and last night as well, that shows how special and talented Malcolm is and can be, and he's really coming into his own. He's in great shape. He's a terrific leader. He's a terrific teammate. And he obviously has confidence in himself, and we have confidence in him. But yeah, there is one big man in the country that can switch out onto a guard and guard him like that 40 feet from the basket, and his name's Malcolm Dandridge.
It was incredible.
And to do it in a time of need, and then, switch back and then get the steal and the turnover and the violation, and then guys are diving on the floor. It's awesome. And we saw that last night too. Guys on the floor. I mean, we're getting there with our 50-50 balls too, and so every time we can do that, we generated so many possessions last night against UVA that they're not used to. They're used to playing less possessions in a game.
Sure.
And so it was enormous. So obviously so proud of our guys.
And to the point about Malco, it's the healthiest he's been in his career, knock on wood. I mean, those knees have been bothersome for his entire career, and the way he's playing. He's such a lovable guy. He's such a nice guy. But now you add another piece to this team in Naquan Tomlin, who's officially now a part of the University of Memphis, a talented 6'10" big man who can do a lot of things. Andy, what can you tell us about him? What does he bring to the table? And then what about how you integrate him into your system?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, he's a great person. You know, I've had the chance. I haven't had the chance to see him a lot as a player. You know, and I have no idea. I'm going to leave that, you know, to our incredible head coach on how we integrate him. You know, but we've got great guys, and he's a great person. You know, so obviously that will be seamless. He's incredibly talented, you know, and I don't even know what position to call him because I think he can play them all, you know, and so that obviously is going to help us offensively and defensively, you know, and then look, like, this is great timing. You know, this is just, you couldn't draw it up better. It's great timing for him to come in, you know, and so it's just a matter of Coach Hardaway, you know, we'll all follow his lead as our leader, you know, letting us know how it's going to go and what the game plan is. And as like I said earlier, as long as we continue to follow his lead, everything will be fine.
You mentioned earlier that you went through this gauntlet where it's high major. You're playing ranked teams. You've played 3 straight. Now, as you look ahead, well, Vanderbilt comes in as an SEC team. They are certainly they're struggling. They're not a ranked team. We're talking about you're in all likelihood going to be favored in your next 19 games. How do you maintain the sharp? Do you get worried at all about letdowns and maybe even complacency if you start reeling off wins against some lesser opponents in the conference?
I mean, I think that's such a down the road question, right? Like, the answer could clearly be yes or no. And I think a lot of that is going to just be based on our leaders. You know, I know that Coach Hardaway's not going to let it happen. and, you know, I know that message is going to be delivered over and over. And I think it's going to be up to, you know, Malcolm and Javon Quinterly and David Jones and Caleb Mills, you know, like Jaden Hardaway, you know, if they really stick to the task, then I don't think we'll have to worry about that, you know, and if they start to, you know, waver or falter a little bit, then I know Coach Hardaway will jump them and we'll get it right. I think the main thing, you know, with Vandy coming into town and, you know, this place will be popping again, I think the main thing is, you know, finish kind of like this first part of the year strong.
Right.
You know, like finish this first part of the year and go into that really short Christmas break on a high note. You know, I think that's obviously the immediate focus, but Coach Hardaway always just talks about the game ahead of us. You know, and so if we can keep doing that, you know, and just focus on that one game ahead of us, then I don't think you have to worry about a letdown. But, you know, kind of what you said, like when you start looking like 8-9 games down the road, then one can jump up and get you. And to make things, you know, like pat ourselves on the back a little bit, you know, as you look around, you know, someone is getting clipped every single night. And our team's ability really to, like, avoid that bad loss, you know, and focus in is one of our strengths, you know, and we just need to make sure we keep doing that.
All right, final thing, less than a minute. David Jones is playing out of his mind. He's so talented. And you look at mock drafts and you go, I don't see his name, or late second round. You've been around a lot of players, Andy. How good is Jones, and is he a guy who could be a first-round pick? And if not, what does he have to do to become a first-round pick?
Well, I mean, he's really good, right? that was a softball. He's really good, and you know, I think the key for him is going to be just to keep proving it on a nightly basis. You know, look, these guys that do mock drafts aren't the guys that draft.
Right.
You know, the guys that do mock drafts create content, and that's okay. You know, but just keep doing what you are. And then the other thing, too, is Coach Hardaway's working with him on a daily basis. He can be better. He can, as scary as that is, imagine how scary that is. He can be better. And I think as he continues to be who he is and continues to work with Coach on improving, everything else will take care of itself. The kid's an incredible player that's going to be playing for a long time.
He is Andy Borman, University of Memphis assistant basketball coach. You can follow him on Twitter at Andy_Borman. You can catch him every single Wednesday talking with us here on Sports 56 Mornings. So the next time we speak to you, it'll be after Christmas. Merry Christmas to you and your family. Thank you as always. I'll see you on Saturday for the Vandy game. We'll always appreciate your time, Andy.
All right, Merry Christmas.
Take care.
Vanderbilt, by the way, last night, if you missed it, lost to Western Carolina.
Lost a starter as well the other day.
They are struggling. They've lost 6 of their last 7. It's things not going well for Jerry Stackhouse at Vanderbilt.
Between football and basketball. Yikes. And they're in the SEC. James Gaddis Jewelers is the second-hour sponsor of Sports 56 Mornings, 4900 Poplar between Mendenhall and St. Nick, and on the web at gaddisjewelers.com. Christmas is Monday. If you haven't gotten that special gift for that special someone, what are you waiting for? We have a lot of procrastinators out there, last-minute gift ideas. James Gaddis Jewelers will have them for you. Just stop by, say hi to James or any of the great folks at James Gaddis Jewelers. James is a master jeweler, certified appraiser, and a diamondologist. He's graded by the Gemologist Institute of America. So he can help you pick out that special diamond ring, that special watch, or any of their other fine jewelry like earrings and bracelets, necklaces and pendants, plus the one-of-a-kind estate and vintage jewelry. They're always adding to their collection. You need service on your jewelry, just stop on by. They are full-service jewelers with 2-bench jewelers ready to serve you. Again, if you're looking for that special someone or that special something for that special someone, James Gaddis Jewelers is the place to go. You get that one-on-one that you don't get at the big box stores. They are your family's jeweler. They are your bridal, engagement, and anniversary jeweler headquarters, James Gaddis Jewelers at 4900 Poplar between Mendenhall and St. Nick, and on the web at gaddisjewelers.com. When we come back, Jerry Palm from CBS Sports. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Jenkins Floors and More in Hernando is growing. This family business started up 5 years ago with just 1 pallet, and now they have hundreds. Tim, the owner, gets calls from people everywhere and can sometimes save them up to 50% on wood flooring, carpet, tile, and vinyl. Jenkins Floors and More helps with renovations, home building, and installation. Jenkins Floors and More, number 6 East Commerce Street in Hernando. Also in Little Rock and coming soon to Tennessee. Call 662-469-9350 for more information.
You ready to end the year with some money in your pocket? We got it covered at Gossett Mitsubishi's Mitsubishi Motors year-end sales event. Get to the Pike for the award-winning 2023 Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV. 420 total range MPGE, $299 a month. Get ready for your road trip in the 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport. Buy for $27,000 or just $399 a month. And cool has never been cooler than in a 2024 Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross. We got it at $30,700 or $499 a month. And no worries with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So get to Gossett Mitsubishi today at 1870 Covington Pike. Gift wrapping available. You want it, we Gossett. Shop online anytime at MemphisMitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we Gossett at Gossett Motor Cars.
PHEV PZ06203 MSRP 44,355 Sport RU00 1136 MSRP 28,000 Eclipse RZO 12051 MSRP 31,700 includes all rebates and incentives PF 695 excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month. Dealer stock only.
Can't sleep with this cold.
Honey.
Honey?
Honey, you need NyQuil Severe Honey.
NyQuil Severe Honey gives you powerful cold and flu symptom relief with a dreamy honey taste.
Feeling better, honey? Honey? I'll take that as a yes.
Try NyQuil Severe Honey for powerful cold and flu symptom relief. NyQuil Severe with honey flavor. The nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, fever. Honeylicious, best sleep with a cold medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
A good friend of mine told me about this awesome place for lunch.
Oh, yeah? What's the name?
Neil's Grill and Bar, where the fat man rocks. Everybody knows Neil.
Where's it located?
It's located in Yorkshire Square off of Quince.
And what's it like?
The best lunch place in Memphis. You know, like real mashed potatoes and gravy. Everything is made from scratch. Monday through Friday, daily lunch specials like Monday, baked chicken, Italian Tuesday, spaghetti, ravioli, Italian spinach, delicious fried catfish, fried chicken livers every Wednesday, Friday, Salisbury steak, barbecue chicken, or if you just want a vegetable plate, the best veggies in town.
What about the lunch price?
Meat and 2 veggies, $8.95. Meat and 3 veggies, $10.95. And veggie plate, $9.95. Big fat boy portions, man.
Man, you're making me hungry.
Come hear the best live local music at Neil's. Eddie Smith plays Sundays 5 to 9, Mondays karaoke, Tuesdays Debbie Jameson, Wednesdays Elmo and the Shades, Thursdays John Williams and the A440 Band at Neil's.
Where the fat man rocks.
If that sound gives you nightmares, there's a cheap and easy way to avoid engines not firing. Stable, America's #1 fuel stabilizer, ensures quick and easy starts after storage. Stable's proprietary formula keeps fuel fresh for 2 years, outperforming competitors. Pour Stable in your gas can or directly into the tank of your car, truck, hybrid, boat, ATV, motorcycle, or lawnmower to prevent fuel-related engine problems that cost time and money. When you store, start with Stable.
Give the gift of Grizz this holiday season with a 6-game holiday pack. The best prices on the season's best matchups, including the Lakers, Clippers, and more. Holiday packs start at just $30 per game. Visit Grizzlies.com/packs for more information.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. Just a couple of accidents still in their clearing stages out here. It's actually been a little bit lighter than normal this morning, but I'm sure that'll all change this afternoon. There's still lots of radar already to deal with this morning. You're going to deal with that quite a bit for the next couple of days as we head towards the holiday weekend. It's a little bit busy over here on 40 westbound as you come past Sycamore View Road. 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services here in the Memphis area. You need Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. That website, it's easy. It's tomahawkcrane.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Diamonds are forever. Woo!
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
We are moving right along. These are the easy shows when you have so many great topics. What a great night it was in Memphis for the Tigers, in New Orleans for the Grizzlies, Ja Morant's triumphant return. We'll talk more about the Grizz coming up in hour 3 when we'll be joined by DeMichael Cole at 9:05. Of course, the city council voting in the stadium changes where the city of Memphis will now take over the responsibilities of running Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium. That means the green light is on for the restructure, the whole refurbishment, if you will, the renovations of Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium to make it as state-of-the-art as they can. Of course, the generous gift from the Smith family of $50 million, that comes into play to be matched by the University of Memphis themselves. Just a great day all around. It is time to talk some college football, some college basketball with our good buddy, Jerry Palm.
It's time for Sports 56 Mornings Weekly Chat with Jerry Palm, college football and basketball writer and bracketologist for CBSSports.com. Here are Greg, Eli, and Jerry.
He is Jerry Palm, CBS Sports, CBSSports.com. You can follow him on Twitter at JPPalmCBS. Hello, Jerry.
Hey, how's it going?
It is going very well. We got a lot to get
I
into.
heard. Jeez.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good night for Memphis. It really was.
I was even thinking about that earlier, but I didn't know about the stadium stuff. So that's what a great day.
That's very important for the Tigers football program and for the university moving ahead. But we'll get your thoughts on Tigers basketball in just a second. It is 5 favorite things time. We're down to our last couple of weeks before we wrap the thing up, and you've been a big part of it. So you are first up, as you always are. Your 5 favorite pro athletes of all time, but they have to be active, current athletes in any sport. What do you got?
All right, number 5, Manchester City star Kevin De Bruyne.
Who? Going soccer here. All right.
Yeah. Number 4, Jaden Ivey on a terrible team. Oh, my God.
You think?
I don't follow the NBA. I really don't because I haven't got time, so I don't pay attention to it until the playoffs start. But, man, are they bad. Number 3, Aiden O'Connell, the new starting quarterback for the Los Angeles Raiders.
Right.
Number
Los
two,
Angeles Raiders. You are going
Sorry,
old.
Vegas. I forgot.
You're going two cities
Vegas.
back.
Yeah, Vegas. Yeah, I know. It's one of them lost things. I get lost. What can I say? Number two, Christian Pulisic, more soccer.
Yep.
And number one, the all-time touchdown leader for the Miami Dolphins, Raheem Mostert.
Did he play at Purdue?
He did. And here's a little known fact: he's actually the fastest guy on that team, even though Tyreek Hill is on the team.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Mostert's faster than Hill?
Yep. I mean, barely, but yes.
They're both really fast. I know that.
What are you judging that on? Their 40s?
Actually, I read it. The Dolphins actually did, timings in training camp, and he was the fastest.
Wow, that's interesting. All right, so
he's also he was a sprint champion at Purdue. So
that's wild. I
didn't even know he played at Purdue.
Yeah,
I didn't know
neither did I. I usually know that
you
kind
know
of
what?
stuff,
He didn't have huge numbers at Purdue. He shared a role at running back. He ran kicks back, and he had a couple of kick return touchdowns. But he shared the running back role at Purdue, so he never had the big numbers. But when you're that fast and he's kind of strong, they can find a spot for you in the NFL. Yep. But it took 8 years. He's been in the league for 8 years before he finally got enough of a role where he could, really show off.
He's got more touchdowns this year than he had in his career before this season.
Well, yeah, and he's got the franchise record now for touchdowns in a season. So.
He's had an incredible year.
So on Friday, you put out your bracketology. Obviously, there's a long way to go before Selection Sunday. But you had Memphis as a 4. Then they went out last night and they steamrolled Virginia.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. They are looking real good. What do you think, knowing that after that game last night, non-conference, a very bad Vanderbilt team from the SEC, Austin Peay, and then you know who's in the American Conference. There's Florida Atlantic, and that's pretty much it. What do you think the ceiling would be for Memphis if they say, let's say they split the two with Florida Atlantic, lost one other game on the road in the conference?
Who wins the conference?
Memphis.
Okay, so Memphis is probably beating Atlantic 2 out of 3 then.
Yes. Let's just say that.
Yeah. Okay, so their ceiling is probably, I don't think they could be a 1. I just think the top of the bracket. The teams that are going to be 1s, I think we might already know them. And Memphis is not going to be a 1. So I would say 2 is probably the ceiling.
Wow.
But as always, it depends on what other teams do.
How impressed are you? I don't know how much you've had a chance to watch them.
I'll tell you what, I've seen bits of 3 games. I saw the last 2 games in Atlanta, the one that they won. Villanova beat them and beat them pretty good.
Yes.
And then I saw some of last night's game. I think they're really good. I think their athleticism is remarkable, really. I just saw Arizona live, and I think Memphis is pretty similar. They're not as balanced scoring as Arizona is, but they've got some size. Everybody they run out on the floor is athletic. They full court press you, which could certainly be a problem for some of the teams they're going to face. In fact, most of them that they're going to face. David Jones is tremendous. I think it's a really good team. I think that Memphis is going to have a really good year. It's going to surprise some people, and I already had them ahead of Florida Atlantic in my bracket. Based on what they've done, because Florida Atlantic did not really beat the good teams they played yet. So, I like Memphis.
Last week, I asked you who you thought the best team in the country was, and you said Arizona, who you were getting ready to see live, and you said that you saw them and Purdue beats them. So I'll ask you again, who do you think right now is the best team in the country?
Well, Purdue should be number 1, and they are, just based on their schedule. Purdue's played 4.
But do you think they're the best team?
Yeah, at the moment, yeah. But here's the thing: nobody's so good that you think, well, they can't lose. There's nobody who can beat them, because there are teams that are going to be bad matchups for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody's got there's a team out there that you think Arizona doesn't want to play that team, Purdue doesn't want to play that team. Actually, kind of thought Arizona might be that team, but Memphis is the kind of a team that could give Purdue trouble. Because of the sheer athleticism. because Purdue is not the most athletic team. They're deceptively athletic, but Fletcher Lawyer, who they start, is not. And yet he had 27 against Arizona and 4 steals. So, when he plays like that, Purdue's really, really hard to beat. But, yeah, I think, UConn is tremendous. Kansas is really good, although they tried to lose to Indiana. And then Indiana tried to lose last night. They almost let Kansas beat them twice. But, it's going to be Purdue is going to be the least challenged in conference of all of these teams because the Big Ten is just not having a good year unless Michigan State is suddenly Michigan State again, which maybe they are. But the challenges for Purdue in conference right now look like Illinois and Ohio State, but the rest of the league is not doing as well as. And maybe
what about Wisconsin?
Yeah, and maybe Wisconsin, but the rest of the league is not really stepping up this year. It looks like a down year for top to bottom sense for the Big Ten. Unless Michigan State has awakened and starts to play like we all thought they could at the beginning of the year.
Well, maybe they have. They came out of hibernation and buried Baylor the other day.
Now, that's a talented team with a good coach. So once they figure it out, they're going to be a problem.
Right. How are teams, not to go too much on Purdue, but how are teams dealing with Zach Edey? When I'm sure you've seen him play probably every game. They're fouling him. Are they doubling him every time he touches the ball?
No, but you do see a lot of that. The problem is they're getting good perimeter shooting, so that strategy often fails. If they kick it out to Brady, you don't cover Smith and you don't cover Lawyer, you don't cover Lance Jones, you don't cover Purdue's perimeter. If you get a good rotation on the double, you've got a problem. Plus, he can shoot through a double because he's so big. So if he wants to shoot, he can still shoot. But Purdue moves the ball really well, and so they go inside out. If you don't double, Zach's going to score. If you do double, you might be giving up a 3. So But, yeah, they defend him in different ways. Arizona had an advantage because they actually had guys big enough to do it. That Omar Ballo, he's 7 foot, but he's built like a defensive end. That's a strong dude. And so he could guard Zach one-on-one. The backup was 7'2", but skinnier, and he had a little more trouble. But defending Zach Edey is always the first problem. But Arizona's the only team that Purdue's played thus far that didn't foul out 2 guys trying to guard Zach.
You have, if I'm not mistaken, 8 SEC teams in this bracket.
Sounds about right.
Mississippi State in the first 4 out.
Yeah, they don't have a chance to beat each other up yet.
Yeah, exactly. Who do you think is the best conference?
It's probably going to be the SEC right now, but check back with me when we get to, say, the end of January. The SEC's off to a good start. I'm a little concerned about Alabama because I think they overscheduled. They played a lot of good teams, and they got Arizona coming up next, and they're not beating any of them. They're playing well, but not finding ways to win a lot of these tough games. And at some point, Alabama's going to maybe have scheduled themselves out of the tournament if they don't get things turned around here pretty soon.
You got Tennessee as a 2. You have Ole Miss as a 7. I bet going into the season, not too many people thought Ole Miss was a tournament team, and they've obviously played very, very well. We'll see what happens in conference play under first-year head coach Chris Beard.
Because the Big 12 obviously has Kansas, Baylor, Houston. BYU's had a good start. I don't know what that team actually is, but obviously the Big 12
we'll find out. I need to see them in conference play.
Yeah, because I don't think they've played really anybody, have they?
Right now, do you have Arkansas in?
I think so.
I'm trying to find them on your.
No, I don't believe so.
No, I don't. I got them out.
Wow.
Well, then they just must not have played anybody.
Memphis beat them. They beat Duke. Memphis. Arkansas beat Duke.
Oh, they beat Duke. I can't. Then are you sure I don't have them in?
Do you see them?
I do not see them.
I don't see Arkansas.
Then I must not.
Okay. All right. All right.
But they've also. I'm trying to find. They've got losses to Greensboro. Then they lost to Memphis, North Carolina, and Oklahoma. And other than Duke, they don't.
With that,
Other than Duke, they don't really have any other win. Stanford's the next best win.
So the Greensboro loss must have been relatively significant compared to what I was doing with some of these other teams.
Right, and it's so early. They have certainly opportunities when you play in the
Oh,
SEC.
yeah. Well, that's the thing,
right?
is that league is good enough that you have a chance to pick up big wins. Probably once a week at least, you have a chance to pick up wins that help you in that league. So
Absolutely.
Arkansas beat Purdue in an exhibition game right before the season started.
Oh, did they
down
really?
there at Bud Walton? Yeah.
Yeah, they have
overtime
not played. They have not played well. They've been very inconsistent, but certainly they have time. All right, before we run out of time, I want to play this clip for you, Jerry, and I want to get your comments on it. This is Chip Kelly, who has made the rounds, ESPN, Pat McAtee Show, and some other outlets talking about college football. Right now, we are kind of in the muck with while it's great to watch and there's still great games and great matchups, it is still screwed up with the way the portal is now and players leaving left and right. So this is what Chip Kelly said he would suggest to do to make changes to make it better.
Okay.
And the NCAA has to govern so many schools. You know, I started off my coaching career at Johns Hopkins University in Baltimore, an unbelievable school, great Division III school, plays in the national playoffs, and but they have the same rules that we have. They're in Division III and we're in a Power 5. There's a difference between UCLA and Johns Hopkins. And now both really good medical schools, but a little different on the football field. And I think they try to do it for the whole, and I understand that. But you have to understand, even in our sport is different at Division II, Division III, Division I than the other sports. So why can't we break away? Oh, it's different. You know, Pat. Yeah. I mean, so why can't we break away? And why aren't we independent? And the fact that that everybody does everything together, the realignment thing just blows my mind. Like, football is going to go play in the Big Ten. Why do the rest of our teams have to go play in the Big Ten? You know, there's so many traditions. As I said, our softball team is off the charts. They're unbelievable. They've won multiple national championships. They have a historic rivalry with Arizona. And now they're not going to play Arizona anymore because football left. Like, that just doesn't make sense. And when things don't make sense, that's when I say something. But I don't have all the answers. And I just threw that out there. You know, I drive to work every morning really early, and I think about a lot of things. And that's where that came from when I was thinking about it. So I don't think it's really hard. I think it's logical. You have 8 divisions instead of like the NFL, but instead of 4 teams in it, you got 8 teams in it. You know, the scheduling in the NFL, you know that, Pat. You know who you're playing 7 years from now. You're playing the NFC East and you're playing the AFC South, and then you finish whoever finished first. Mm-hmm. It's all logical. It's math, and it's easy math because I'm not a math guy, but that's easy math. I think it's very simple answer. Are they willing to do it? And do they want to keep everybody together in this whole group and say this? But I think for it to work and for us to protect this game and promote this game, that football should be separate. And the rest of the conference realignment, they should go back to where they were.
There's a whole
all right, so basically he's saying that there should be 64 teams. They should be completely separate.
Yeah.
Football should be separate from everything else.
But
well, no, he did. That was not the clip I was.
Well, he said 8 teams of 8 or 8 divisions of 8 teams.
Yeah, so
is that what he said?
Yeah,
okay.
64. But the point is, and he had said it a little bit clearer on another clip, but that they should break away and they should be their own entity. Football should be separate from every other sport, whereas you don't have the Arizona, UCLAs of the world playing softball in Piscataway. What about what he had to say?
Yeah, I mean, he's not the first to say something like that. He's probably the first coach, though, to say something like that. I think it's kind of obvious that football needs to be governed differently because the money is so big in football compared to everything else. Football money runs all of these athletic departments. Mm-hmm. So, yes, football definitely needs to be governed differently. There's no reason why the NCAA couldn't do that other than it would be a tremendous culture change where everybody be walking around in neck braces if they actually tried to do it. But it needs to be governed differently, whether the NCAA is choosing to govern it differently or some other, organization is put together to do it. But it definitely needs to be governed differently. And I kind of wondered when they were, all these conference realignment where you're talking about, entire athletic programs moving 2 or 3 time zones it just makes you wonder, does anybody even think about the other sport?
Right.
That was always the thing. It's like, okay, so is UCLA's beach volleyball going to play it on Lake Michigan here now? Of course, beach volleyball is not coming with, but anyways, it's that kind of stuff. It's like, does anybody even think about these other sports? They don't need to be in the Big Ten. So I'm in favor of this solution. It's a lot easier to articulate than it is to implement. Mm-hmm. But I think that ultimately that is going to be what happens, is that football ends up getting governed differently. Whether or not they go back and put these old conferences back together, I don't know. Like, I don't know if the Pac-12 is coming back into existence, in the way that we understand it. But I don't think there's any question that football needs to be governed differently.
All right.
Yeah, there's the toothpaste kind of out of the tube as far as there's no way
By the way,
to go back to these things.
If you're going to go with 64, which is more teams than you currently have, I believe, in the top 5 conferences. I'm not doing the math in the top of my head, but then I propose a relegation promotion thing like they do in soccer.
Oh, there you go. I like it. Relegation, promotion. That would be fantastic. He's Jerry Palm, CBS Sports and CBSSports.com. Follow him on Twitter at JPPalmCBS. Have a great Christmas. Happy holidays to you and your family. We'll talk to you next Wednesday.
All right. Thanks.
Thanks, Jerry. You also had yesterday Florida State, Mike Norvell, speaking publicly for the first time since the announcement that they weren't getting into the playoff, and talked about maybe looking at Florida State, looking at their future here. He kind of didn't.
They've been looking at their future for a long time.
Yeah, but it got quiet there for a while. But now, obviously, getting.
It just costs a heck of a lot of money to get out.
Yeah, this was more, hey, we may have to, if we can't beat them, join them. Meaning join the SEC. And who knows if the SEC wants to continue to expand. And he didn't say that specifically, but you're talking about the ACC getting screwed over as a power conference. So,
but the thing is, like,
let's go to the SEC.
And again, they've been wanting to out whatever for a long time because they're unhappy with things in the ACC. But now to do it as a reaction to this, going forward, they won't be left out again. They can't be left out.
Right.
Because they're conference champion, you're in. You're automatically in. They would be automatically in the 12-team playoffs. So,
right.
So, like, doing
but
this reaction to this thing is the wrong time to have that reaction.
Yeah, but they might be thinking, well, how about if we finish second and they take 5 from the SEC and they don't. So, I mean, there's always that thought that there's 1 or 2 conferences, the SEC and the Big Ten, are always going to get the benefit of the doubt over them.
What if you go to the SEC and you finish 8th?
Right.
Because you're not good enough.
That's the problem, too, for Texas and Oklahoma. They don't expect to finish middle of the pack. They expect to be up there battling Alabama, Georgia, and the best, but who knows? All right.
East Coast Wings and Grill. There was a big crowd up there last night watching both the Tigers and Grizzlies games. Certainly was a fun night up there watching those games. And the 2 great games, 2 great wins for the Memphis teams. Anytime the local teams are on or whatever games are going on, you can watch them at East Coast Wings and Grill. Do so while enjoying great food, great drinks, just a great atmosphere and a good time up there at East Coast Wings and Grill. 60 flavors of wings to choose from. TVs all over the place to watch the games. You've got 24 draft beers on tap, including many of the local beers. Happy hour Monday through Friday from 3:30 until 6:30 with 2 for 1 on those draft beers and bucket specials and more. They've got the rewards program. Right now, by the way, for the holidays, if you buy a $25 gift card, so if you want to get somebody a gift card to East Coast Wings Grill, buy a $25 gift card, you'll get a $5 off coupon as well. So you're basically getting $30 for buying that $25 gift card for somebody for the holidays. East Coast Wings and Grill, located just off Highway 64 on Kate Hyde Boulevard, which runs right between Lowe's and Walmart. They're on Highway 64. Check them out for this holiday season. Have a good time. Enjoy all the bowl action, NFL action, and more at East Coast Wings and Grill.
Got some more college football news we'll get to in our final segment here in Hour 2. Hour 3, we open up talking Grizzlies with Michael Cole. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Be sure to follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows, stay up to date with station events, and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
All 650 acquisition fees, Sportage R723 5498, MSRP 28940, Sorrento PG 424,710, MSRP 33,010, Telluride RG 462822, MSRP 38,705, includes all rebates and incentives, must finance through Hyundai, excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 1/2/2024 with approved credit dealer stock only. Hey, my man Jeff Allen, what's going on for the holidays over at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah?
It's the season of giving back at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah, and I've got your holiday presents right here.
Tell us about it, Jeff.
Award-winning SUV 2024 Kia Sportage LX, $299 a month, $34.99 due at signing. 2023 Kia Sorrento LX, perfect for your road trips, $329 a month. And the 2024 Kia Telluride LX, we got it at $459 a month, all 36 month lease.
Well, you can't get much better than that, Jeff. And all Kias come with the 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah. And from all of us at Gossett Kia South on Mount Moriah, happy holidays.
Yo, Mark, long time no see. You still down at Dyer's?
Man, I'm not down at Dyer's. I'm out at Collierville Historic Town Square.
When'd you move out there?
We've been out there for about 13 years. We've got the shops, the park. We got the train the kids like to play on.
You still cooking those burgers the old-fashioned way?
Man, we're still flattening out those hamburger balls on a slab of marble and skillet frying them the old-fashioned way like they've been doing for 100 years.
Dude, you still have those onion rings.
Man, they're fantastic. Hand-breaded, served up just right.
I loved those milkshakes. Please tell me you're still doing those.
Man, we are hand dipping those shakes, putting them in the old glass in the shake tin, served the old-fashioned way.
You got any new items out there I need to know about?
We're just doing a lot of gourmet sandwiches. We've got farm-raised catfish straight out of the Delta. We've got some hot tamales from Pasquale's Tamales out of Helena, Arkansas.
Man, are they served in the husk?
What those guys like to say, they're so good, you'll suck the shuck.
Go see my buddy Mark at Dyer's Cafe in Collierville's historic town square.
Do you have equipment taking up space in your shed or on your lot? What do you do if those pieces are really big? Ever wondered their value? Purple Wave Auction is an online auction company that sells used equipment. Thousands of items are up for bid right now at purplewave.com. Our transparent auction process makes it easy to sell that Kenworth semi you have sitting behind the barn. Or how about an upgrade to your New Holland Workmaster? Take a moment and check out purplewave.com. Purple Wave Auction, straight, simple, sold.
The season has changed. You know how I know? It's finally here, the Family Leisure Christmas Sale. Excellent deals on pool tables, shuffleboards, and saunas. Oh, we're just beginning. Tired and sore from shopping? Check out the huge selection in stock of hot tubs and massage chairs. Oh, and you can surprise the kids with the best stuff, like a new arcade, a game table, even a play gym. Gifts for the whole family to enjoy and enjoy together. Also on sale. Theater seating, outdoor kitchens and grills, patio furniture, and fire pits. Merry Christmas from our family to yours. That's Family Leisure of Memphis. Every year we wait. They always deliver. They've done it again. The Family Leisure Christmas Sale is happening at I-40 and Whitten Road. That's 2120 Whitten Road to be exact. That's the place of shopping heaven. Family Leisure, where family and fun all come together.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Don't you just love it?
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Ja Morant was absolutely incredible in his return to the Grizzlies lineup. A great win last night over New Orleans on a buzzer beater by Ja. Tomorrow night will be his home return as the Grizzlies will entertain Tyrese Halliburton and the Indiana Pacers. If you want to go free of charge, I got 2 tickets for the 5th caller, 901-360-8255. That's 901-360-8255. 2 tickets to go see the Grizzlies and the Pacers tomorrow night. The return of one Ja Morant of FedEx Forum. Again, could not have been scripted any better last night in New Orleans. We'll talk more about that with DeMichael Cole coming up at 9:05.
I stand by my prediction from yesterday. I'm going triple-double tomorrow night.
Did you say that? For what, second game you said triple-double? Oh, of course, of the high-scoring game that it should be against the Pacers. Okay. All right. Why not? I mean, he wasn't real close, but he was somewhat in the neighborhood. He had 8 and 6, right? So he had certainly the points, and then he had, 8 assists, 6 rebounds? Pretty special.
He had...
I think do we have our fifth caller? We have our fifth caller. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
enjoy the game.
6 rebounds.
College football news. Tevin Carter, who went into the portal, backup quarterback for Memphis, has announced that he will go to Tennessee State. So he'll play for Eddie George as their quarterback. Want to wish Tevin Carter nothing but the best. And no surprise here, but Keith Carter, the athletics director at Ole Miss, and Lane Kiffin have come to an agreement on a contract extension. Lane Kiffin finishing up his 4th year as they get set for the Peach Bowl. Ole Miss at 33-15 under Lane Kiffin, and they are crushing it in recruiting. Again, today is National Signing Day. We'll get more information as the day progresses. Tomorrow, Brian Moss will join us from Rivals to talk about the Memphis Tigers recruiting. And from everything I've read and everything I've heard, it's going pretty darn well. Brian Moss says there's a chance they may land a 4-star guy today, but there are a lot of big-time programs after that 4-star player. But between the portal, between high school and junior college guys, Brian Moss thinks it's a pretty good class, so we'll talk to him about that tomorrow. We need to take a break. When we come back, as promised, we're talking Grizzlies, and then we'll follow that up with 5 favorite things. If you haven't got your lists in yet, please do so. Your 5 favorite active pro athletes of all, not of all time, but your 5 favorite pro athletes that are active in whatever sport you may think of. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Memphis, home of the blues, world-renowned barbecue, and award-winning craft beers. Now you can take a dive into these great libations with City Brew Tours Memphis. City Brew Tours Memphis offers a craft beer adventure with behind-the-scenes access to local breweries. See for yourself how craft beer is made, learn about different styles of beer, delve into beer history, and discover the secrets behind the Memphis brews. Best of all, with City Brew Tours, you will take your taste buds on a journey with beer tastings at each brewery stop, complemented by local snacks to munch on. City Brew Tours handles transportation to the breweries, too. You drink, they drive. Looking for the perfect gift idea this holiday season? Treat your loved ones to an unforgettable experience. A local craft beer tour with City Brew Tours Memphis. Head over to citybrewtours.com/Memphis and brew up your craft beer adventure today.
When you think about insurance and you want great value without sacrificing great service, I want you to think one place: the Eflin Insurance and the entire Eflin Insurance team. Matt and his group of professionals will access 10 leading companies to find the right home and auto program that fits your budget and your absolute needs. The Eflin Insurance team, the number 386-GER, 386-4777.
Jenkins Floors and More in Hernando is growing. This family business started up 5 years ago with just 1 pallet, and now they have hundreds. Tim, the owner, gets calls from people everywhere and can sometimes save them up to 50% on wood flooring, carpet, tile, and vinyl. Jenkins Floors and More helps with renovations, home building, and installation. Jenkins Floors and More, number 6 East Commerce Street in Hernando. Also in Little Rock and coming soon to Tennessee. Call 662-469-9350 for more information.
It's our season of giving back at Gossett Kia on the Pike, and we've got the perfect holiday gift for you. Hit the road with 41 MPG Highway 2023 Kia Forte LXS, $239 a month, $27.99 due at signing. Get road-ready SUVs, Seat 7 2023 Kia Sorento LX, $319 a month, $34.99 due at signing. And 8-passenger seating in your new 2024 Kia Telluride LX, $459 a month, $34.99 due at signing, all 36-month lease. Plus, you'll get peace of mind with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Ask for Bobby J. He's ready to put you in a new Kia today. Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, or online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 650 acquisition fee, Forte RE 699,094, MSRP 21,385, Sorrento PG 242,710, MSRP 33,010, Telluride RG 462, 2822, MSRP 38,705, includes all rebates and incentives, must finance through Hyundai, excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 1/2/2024, dealer stock only.
It's official. Malco Marquee Rewards have arrived. Earn points on ticket and concession purchases at Malco Theaters and member-only benefits, including I Love Tuesday tickets. Enroll for free today at Malco.com or the Malco app. Happy holidays from Malco Theaters.
It's the hometown Memphis Tigers taking on Iowa State in this year's AutoZone Liberty Bowl. Plus, Memphis music legends, the Barkays, will be there performing the music that made Memphis, and you'll want to be there too.
Everybody say, so bigger. Say, so bigger.
It's all happening Friday, December 29th at 2:30. Get your tickets today by calling the AutoZone Liberty Bowl at 795-7700. The Tennessee Highway Safety Office reminds you that fans don't let fans drive drunk.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Oh, yeah. Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. Traffic's still a little bit crowded over here at times on 40 West coming past Sycamore View Road. It's just now starting to build with a little bit of volume coming in from Collierville on Bill Morris Parkway 385 inbound towards 240. Still looks good at the moment up to South Haven on 55 going northbound up from DeSoto County. Weimer's Jewelry located 7525 Highway 64 is your full-service family-owned jewelry store right here in Memphis. Go see them this holiday season. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis.
Power is everything.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
It has been a fun morning. Anytime you talk about positive things in the world of sports, especially the teams that you cover, it's always a lot better than talking about all the negative things. But today it's all smiles all around with Tigers fans, Grizzlies fans, fans of Tigers football and the future for Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium. We welcome you back. Hour 3, Sports 56 Mornings. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Zach Boyd with you from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, 2120 Witten Road, just north of I-40. Their Christmas sale continues, and there's still time for you procrastinators out there. Get on over to Family Leisure. Check out what they have to offer. Get yourself some nice gifts for your loved ones for Christmas, which is coming up on Monday. Currently, it is sunny and 41 degrees. We're looking at partly sunny skies throughout the afternoon with a high of 59, partly cloudy tonight with a low of 37. And then your Thursday, partly sunny, seasonably cool with a high of 58 degrees. Time now to talk some Grizzlies with DeMichael Cole.
2 watches, that's 12. Come through and slam on you. I'm in the air. Before it's all said and done,
It's time to talk some Grizzlies basketball. Joining Greg and Eli is DeMichael Cole, Grizzlies beat writer for the Commercial Appeal. Here's DeMichael with Greg and Eli.
He is DeMichael Cole, Grizzlies beat writer for the Commercial Appeal. You can follow him on Twitter at DeMichaelC. You could take any writer in the history of writing, DeMichael. They could not have written a script that good that you saw last night in New Orleans.
Man, guys, it was. I'm borderline speechless. I'm watching it unfold, and there are 2 ways you really approach this. But I've come to learn that when you see these things gradually happen, just sit there, like get off the keyboard, and just sit there and just take it in. And they're down 19 at the half, but you could. Like I said before the half, like it was a 28-2 run in the first half, and granted that is a huge run. But if you kind of just erase that run from your memory, they were going toe to toe and playing. Like even the stats showed it with the 28-2 run, but they were right there. So it's like they're down 19, and then in the second half, you see them just just chopping away slowly. And I'm thinking, like, okay, Jaren has 4 fouls, and he's going to come out super aggressive in the fourth. They really don't have someone to guard him. And Ja is, first half, we've seen Ja play like this historically throughout his career for the most part, where in the first half he's kind of filling things out, getting other guys involved. In the second half, he says it's time. And that's what happened in the fourth quarter. He and Jaren really took over. Des started playing better. And, I mean, you can't write it any better. I mean, it's right in front of T. Morant. They're celebrating together at 9:01 p.m. It was storybook for sure.
The night started with the boos early on for him, and I know he talked about him after the games. I don't know what I did to the Pelicans. Were you surprised by that? Do you think that'll be the reaction at road arenas going forward?
I was surprised. I mean, it's kind of where I led within my story. I know a lot of people focused on the situation in the huddle with he and Desmond Bain, but I just felt like that was more big picture, because Ja Morant is a superstar, and he's one of, the guys who we put in the conversation as to be the face of the league one day. And, when I think of that, you really don't think villain, you think when Kobe and LeBron and those guys went to road arenas, it was always big sections waiting on that, and that's what we've seen in the past.
Right.
I've been to New Orleans. I said that I've been to New Orleans before, and it's been all love for Ja. So when he comes out, it's mixed. It's loud boos and cheers during the introduction. So I'm thinking at that point, like, okay, that's just that's what I call crowd ego, where you get a lot of cheers, and then the other fans are like, no, you can't cheer that much for a guy here. So they try to overpower the cheers with the boos. So it was kind of that at first. And then when the game started and he's dribbling the ball, it's like they're booing him. I mean, I don't want to say any names, but they're booing him like he's one of those guys who can't go to Canada to play right now. Like, I mean, so I was kind of surprised. Like, this is wild. But shortly enough, the boos, they got quiet, and he kind of silenced them and whatnot at the end of the day.
So do you believe this is one of those situations where it may happen a lot and he will just continue to play and try to maybe win them back?
That's exactly what's probably going to have to happen. He's going to have to win them back. I think certain arenas, there's going to automatically be more love. Atlanta, like they love him out there. I think that's the next away game. I think Atlanta could definitely be a telling one, because if Atlanta is similar to that, then that's going to be really telling, because Atlanta is almost like a second, home. For Ja Morant. But yeah, I think in most arenas, it's probably going to be like that until, again, like you said, he wins them back over. And I mean, he has some more 34.8 assist nights. It won't be long.
They probably have become the most relevant 7-19 team in the history of the NBA.
Yeah, I mean, because people know what they can be. Like, and as Kanye West said, no one man should have all that power. And, I mean, it's like the pieces are falling into place. Like, that's what Ja Morant's return. I mean, someone told me in the arena, it's like a quarterback. It's like the Jets right now. You take Aaron Rodgers off, as opposed to putting Aaron Rodgers on that team. Like, everyone else is designed specifically to play a certain role. And those guys, other players were telling me, leading up to this, all the way before Marcus Smart was injured, he was telling me, like, guys are playing roles that they did not expect to play. And now, with Ja back, Dez goes more into a secondary playmaker role. Jaren still uses that same aggressiveness, but a guy like Vince Williams, like, his game can just come so easy to him, in the role that he's playing in. Xavier Tillman had a big game. Didn't score much, but just had a big game defensively, rebounding the basketball. Like, the role players, like, it's much easier to kind of just fill in and play your role when you got guys like, Ja, Dez, and Jaren on the court at all times.
You talked about the final huddle, and I talked about it earlier in the game. Ja talked about it after the game, but interesting that he was, and he talked like the fatigue was real. Like, he was feeling it at the end of that game and still was able to do what he did.
I mean, you see him in the last huddle. He was had the massage guns on his calves, and even before that, he had an oxygen tank. Like he was getting some oxygen. I think late in the third quarter it was, but because he ended up playing a long stretch when Jaren picked up that fourth foul in the third quarter. That was going to be the telling sign for me of how Taylor Jenkins was going to handle this. He had just taken John Morant out a couple minutes earlier. Desmond Bane had played most of the third quarter already, so it was like either you're going to take Dez out at your normal rotation and have none of the big three in. You're going to bring Ja back in early, first game back, and just throw a bunch of minutes at him because he's going to play a lot in the fourth, or you're just going to keep playing Dez all the way through the third quarter and into the fourth quarter potentially. And the answer was he brought Ja back early. I mean, Ja withstood the storm. He even said it after the game. He felt it. He felt it in his body, that being that first game back. But, I mean, he handled it well.
You saw him visibly upset when they got the rebound with about, 8 seconds to go, and Taylor called the timeout. But obviously, there wasn't going to be any other play call other than let 12 do his thing.
Exactly. And that's kind of, from his teammates. As we said earlier, he wanted to go to Jaren in the post-up, which I don't think was a bad idea. Mm-hmm. With the fact the way Jaren dominated that fourth quarter, too, it's, just going to go a little bit unnoticed now. But Jaren was dominating that fourth, but it was a better idea to get the ball in the hands of the guy who had just scored the previous two baskets. And, I mean, the Pelicans are a very solid defense, but, they're solid on the perimeter to me. When you get into the paint, you can make some things happen a little bit. And Ja consistently did that. And, I mean, like he said after the game, he said, y'all been here long enough. Y'all know what time it is.
It's some of the stuff, and I talked about this earlier, Taylor Jenkins, some of his rotations at times are weird to me. Like, it's weird that guys will go from, like, DNPs, like, 2 or 3 games in a row, that suddenly, like, they're a big part of the rotation. Like, David Roddy suddenly, like, last night really wasn't a part of the rotation. Then all of a sudden, he did come in the game. John Conchar might go 5 games without playing, and then he's, like, the first guy off the bench. I don't even understand some of the rotation stuff he does.
Yeah. I mean, Taylor Jenkins, there's a good and a bad to this, I say, Eli. This is what I think his strength and what his potential weaknesses could be. And it's his ability to fill out a game. It's a strength because I know going into games that Taylor Jenkins will make adjustments. Sometimes you wonder if he, makes too much of an adjustment. Like you said, John Conchar was the first guy off the bench. And I'm like, man, I was just looking at Zaire, Roddy, Jake LaRavia. Like it was only a couple games ago. I personally had asked him why Jake LaRavia was getting minutes over John Conchar. All of a sudden, John Conchar is the first guy off the bench. So, but the short answer to that is what I've come to learn. What I've come to learn is Taylor basically, like, he's really big on these parents. He's big on, like you saw when Jaren went out of the game, I think it was big to put John Conchar in the game with Ja Morant and get the rebounding still, because he rebounded the ball very well. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's the best answer I got for you.
Well, do they look at analytics a lot? Do they look and go, okay, this combination versus New Orleans in the past with Ja and John Conchar works, and so that's what they do?
That's a big part of it. I actually, me and Taylor were talking about that in Houston recently, and they're very big on, the analytical side in terms of these guys play well together, the plus minus of these guys in certain lineups, the Grizzlies factor in all of that.
So they're looking at 2-man lineups, 3-man lineup type stuff.
Yeah, and that's kind of where a guy like John Conchar stands out.
And bringing Ja back into the mix can change that, because now you're looking at lineups with him from the past versus what guys you had to do before. With he had said, and I know you were the one that I think had it from Taylor Jenkins, that he talked about Marcus Smart, and he said in the Indiana-Atlanta kind of window here. Mm-hmm. Do you expect Marcus Smart back this week?
I do. I personally, if you're asking for just my guess, I would lean more towards Saturday than Thursday. But he looks good. I mean, signs are pointing towards him being back soon. And quite frankly, I think this stretch here, you're going to need him back. He's another guy who's going to stand out defensively. But yeah, he's very close.
And then Luke Kennard, I believe it was December 3rd when they said they expected him back in 2 to 3 weeks. Well, we're past 2 weeks and we're nearing 3 weeks. So should we expect him back soon as well?
He's short, not much longer than Marcus Smart. I think you get Marcus back this week, you get Luke back next week. Somewhere on that road trip, you go to Atlanta, you go to New Orleans, you go to Denver, and then you go to L.A. I think he'll be back somewhere in that stretch for sure.
Geez, that's a tough stretch. Now, let me ask you this. When they are back, those two, how do you see the lineup and the rotation?
Vince Williams still plays. He can't come off the floor. That's the one thing that cannot change. The big rotation is it is what it is. Taylor Jenkins clearly is, you just see he's going to fill the game out between Tillman, Biombo, and Santi. One of those guys is going to finish a game playing alongside of Jaren Jackson Jr. almost every night. You never know who it's going to be. You just don't. But with the wings, you can't take Vince Williams off the floor. He's playing too well. Now, when Marcus Smart gets back, you have that question where you put Marcus back in the starting lineup. I mean, he's proven, but Vince Williams, is doing really good work. So you potentially bring Vince Williams back off the bench, or you maybe bring Marcus Smart off the bench for a little stretch. We'll see how that's handled. Luke Kennard's going to, seamlessly fit back in. And I think Derrick Rose should be back in that stretch as well. Derrick Rose is warming up before the game. I know they said week to week, but I think it's more on the earlier part than the latter. So they're going to have a bunch of reinforcements, and not just reinforcements. Like, I think the problem, it was masked a little bit with Ja being back, but we still saw the big scoring drought happen. The 28-2 run. The big scoring drought still happened, and that's something they're going to have to clean up because, you're not going to have a lot of 10-point fourth quarter comeback from behind wins. So how they clean that up simply is having more legitimate scoring threats off the bench. Because who ended that 28-2 run? It was John Morant. It was when he came back into the game, and he came back and he made a driving layup to end that run. So you'll have a Derrick Rose who's capable of getting to that nice smooth mid-range jumper. You'll have Luke Kennard who just not going to miss too many open three-pointers. You'll have Marcus Smart who's capable of knocking down some spot-up shots as well. You just have more options, and guys those three guys, not really going to be afraid of the moment. So I think that'll be big.
You mentioned I'd forgotten that on this road trip they go right back to New Orleans. Yep. So I wonder what the reaction will be from the fans.
Not that guy.
Now that he's broken their heart, next week he's right back there. I wonder if they'll be booing him again.
Yeah, they're really probably going to boo him now, right? And, I mean, he just kind of ripped it out of him in this game because I talked to a bunch of New Orleans fans at the game. I just wanted to get a feel for it, right? And of course, there was some love there. And then there was one fan told me, like, we're just disappointed in him. We're disappointed because we want to see him behave and things like that. But overall, like, I feel like, there's some love for Ja there. And again, he got booed louder than anyone else on the team. It's a respect thing at the end of the day.
Well, it's also a jolt to his system, and that can be a good thing. That, oh, wow, I'm not as beloved as I thought I would be stepping back on the court because of what I've done, which is still a mystery whether or not really he knows that he did something wrong. I don't know if he personally thinks he did anything wrong, to be honest with you. He's certainly upset that he screwed up the team with his suspension, and he took full blame for that during the press conference. But I just don't know where he stands as far as whether or not he thought he did anything that was really wrong. And now this is a jolt to the system when you have fans showing their displeasure, not just because you're the best player on the team coming in to play their team, but because of what happened.
Yeah, I mean, it was huge for him. It was huge for the team. I mean, I'm talking to it's what has amazed me, not just today, but even yesterday and the day before that when I was in Oklahoma City, was like the players on the team, like his teammates, they're fans. Like, they're Ja Morant fans. They're not just teammates. Like, I'm in the locker room and Xavier Tillman is smiling like he just won the Big Ten championship. And he's like, yeah, this, and yesterday, a couple days ago, we were in OKC. They just lost by 19 points, and Jaren Jackson Jr. is screaming, "Here we go!" Like, it's time. Like, a couple guys have told me that having Ja back, and this was pretty telling to me. Having Ja back was like the start of a season.
Right.
Like that was the preseason in a way for them before getting Ja back. So it's the energy is just drastically different. It makes you, because you remember. Yeah, I just think back to Dylan Brooks saying, things like, "Oh, they don't have the swag and things like that right now," and people were saying, are we missing that because Dylan Brooks is out? Like, no, we just got that answer in one game.
Just got the swag, right? Just got the swag back. It's a hell of a Christmas gift, isn't it? It's a hell of a Christmas present for all of them.
That was one long preseason, though. I mean, that's
too
they
long.
play way too many preseason games. If that's the preseason, that's for sure.
I've never seen that many preseason games, but Jaren Jackson Jr. said Christmas came early. So.
It did. Absolutely.
I'm predicting a triple-double tomorrow night.
I don't know if it'll be a triple-double, but I tell you what, the Pacers have one of, if not the worst paint defense in the NBA, and they're not very good in terms of guard pressure, in terms of stopping the ball. Look, you say triple-double, I'm leaning towards 40. Like, it's going to be...
He's going to put on a show. In a game with
as long as they win.
The way the Pacers play is perfect. Like, he up and down, everything else. It's against Halliburton, who he's heard all about through the season so far. Yeah, I think he's going to want to put on a show.
Yeah, I mean, and their defense has some leaks in it. We've seen teams put 150, 140, 130 on the Pacers. And Ja at home opener, I think he just played 35 minutes in the first game, so he's going to be feeling good. Oh, yeah.
Hopefully he's resting nicely today. Hopefully the streamers will come out for a second time this year tomorrow night when the Grizzlies play the Indiana Pacers. He is DeMichael Cole, Grizzlies beat writer for the Commercial Appeal. You can follow him on Twitter at DeMichaelC and catch him every Wednesday morning talking with us here on Sports 56 Mornings. Thanks, DeMichael.
All right, take care, guys.
You too. Well, 'tis the season for Corky's. Yes, it's always the season for Corky's. $365 a year. Hopefully, you ordered up your whole turkeys and your honey-glazed hams, and I'm not sure if you could still squeeze that in. If you like, go to corkysbbq.com. I'm not sure exactly when the deadline is, but the pickup starts December 22nd. So if you have ordered, the pickups begin on Friday and will go through Sunday before Christmas Day on the 25th. But if you're looking for a place to go while you're out there doing that last-minute shopping, you want to stop by, grab yourself a delicious barbecue sandwich or some ribs, it's Corky's Ribs and Barbecue, open 7 days a week with 4 locations: Poplar Avenue in Memphis, Poplar Avenue in Collierville, Germantown Parkway in Cordova, and Goodman Road in Olive Branch. If you're looking to put together a little New Year's Eve party, you want some catering done, Corky's can do that for you. They've been catering as long as they've been in existence, which has been 4 decades, serving up that delicious slow-smoked barbecue. But it's not just the barbecue. Award-winning catfish plates, even delicious tamales and hamburgers, plus all the fixings. Those rolls are to die for. When you stop by, pick up a Corky's gift card. Always makes a great stocking stuffer. And reserve your private party room at either the Cordova or the Olive Branch locations. Just give them a jingle. Corky's Ribs and Barbecue, open for lunch and dinner 7 days a week. When we come back, 5 favorite things. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
We are Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
They're taking care of beerness in Memphis, right on the river with Grind City Brewing and all of their great products. Look, this was a dream come true for a father and son duo. And if you have not been to that brewery right on the river, just to the north of downtown, you're really missing something special. And now you can't miss their products. Wherever you go, you see a brand new label. It's clean, it's beautiful, it's distinctive. You'll know Grind City Brewing, and of course you know their products like Poppy's Pills, that great Pilsner, or Tiger Tail, that very creative craft malt liquor. There's the new Thaddeus Amber Lager. That is absolutely a great light beer. There's the India Pale called Godhopper. It's outstanding. And then there's the Belga, the Belgian-style wheat ale. They keep bringing hits at Grind City Brewing.
Hey friends, Bill Russell at Russell Brothers Fine Jewelers, and it's crunch time now. But don't worry, just because you waited until the last minute doesn't mean you will miss out on anything, at least not at Russell Brothers. We have a huge inventory of the most magnificent jewelry you've ever seen. Whatever you think would please her, whether it's a pair of diamond studs or a stunning silver or gold bangle bracelet. Maybe it's a beautiful sapphire pendant or a spectacular gemstone and diamond ring. We've got anything your lady would want, and when you give her a gift, beautifully wrapped in a Russell Brothers box, you know you've given her the finest quality that's available. Since 1985, Russell Brothers has been helping Memphis men be the smartest Santa possible. So if you want to give her a gift that will last a lifetime, come see us at Russell Brothers. It is getting down to the wire, but don't settle for less than the best. She deserves it. Russell Brothers Fine Jewelers, 4646 Poplar at Perkins.
The season has changed. You know how I know? It's finally here, the Family Leisure Christmas Sale. Excellent deals on pool tables, shuffleboards, and saunas. Oh, we're just beginning. Tired and sore from shopping? Check out the huge selection in stock of hot tubs and massage chairs. Oh, and you can surprise the kids with the best stuff, like a new arcade, a game table, even a play gym. Gifts for the whole family to enjoy and enjoy together. Also on sale, theater seating, outdoor kitchens and grills, patio furniture, and fire pits. Merry Christmas from our family to yours. That's Family Leisure of Memphis. Every year we wait. They always deliver. They've done it again. The Family Leisure Christmas Sale is happening at I-40 and Whitten Road. That's 2120 Whitten Road to be exact. That's the place of shopping heaven. Family Leisure, where family and fun all come together.
All 650 acquisition fees. Sportage R723 5498 MSRP 28940. Sorrento PG 424,710 MSRP 33,010. Telluride RG 462822 MSRP 38,705. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 1/2/2024 with approved credit dealer stock only. Hey, my man Jeff Allen, what's going on for the holidays over at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah?
It's the season of giving back at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah, and I've got your holiday presents right here.
Tell us about it, Jeff.
Award-winning SUV 2024 Kia Sportage LX, $299 a month, $34.99 due-it signing. 2023 Kia Sorrento LX, perfect for your road trips, $329 a month. And the 2024 Kia Telluride LX, we got it at $459 a month, all 36-month lease.
Well, you can't get much better than that, Jeff. And all Kias come with the 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah. And from all of us at Gossett Kia South on Mount Moriah, happy holidays.
Roofs, roofs, and more roofs. Chris Price here with Metro Builders. Is your roof leaking? Do you have mold stains on the ceiling of your home or business? Is your carrier denying your claim or offering a repair simply because they don't have enough documentation? You need a contractor that performs work for insurance claims for policyholders each and every day, and Metro Builders is here to assist. Call Metro Builders. At Metro Builders, we provide free estimates, consultation, and claim repairs. Metro Builders' process of arriving, inspecting, diagnosing problems, and estimating is second to none, commercial and residential. Our team of Hague-certified technicians are standing by to assist you with providing estimates and photos to your carrier to document your loss. All you owe is what your policy states. No large fees on top of the final scope. We use high-grade materials and are certified by companies like Atlas, CertainTeed, Owens Corning, and Mulehide with labor warranties up to 50 years on all of our jobs. Metro Builders provides roof repairs across the Mid-South. Call Metro Builders to schedule your inspection free. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
Listen each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and join Ottawild Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Late December back in 63. What a very special time for me, as I remember what a night.
Everything was terrific last night, and they almost got it right the Four Seasons way back when. Late December back in 2023 is what they meant to say, as the Grizzlies win in New Orleans with the return of Ja Morant going for 34, including the game-winning shot. The Tigers, ranked for the first time this season, taking out another ranked team in Virginia, crushing them 77-54 to improve to 9-2. The Memphis City Council voting to hand over the stadium from the city to the University of Memphis. And now, of course, we have the start of National Signing Day, the National Signing Period. Just a great 24 hours, and it was indeed, oh, what a night. Time now for 5 favorite things.
I'd like to tell you about my favorite number, which is the number 5. I said no, Ken!
You get it.
Do without the open.
You get it. You understand. It's 5 favorite things. Just 2 more weeks to go before we retire 5 favorite things to the Smithsonian Institute. This week, it's your 5 favorite active pro athletes. Any sport, your 5 favorite pro athletes, any sport. If you have not sent your list in, please do so. Send it in via the Sports 56 listener line by texting in at 901-360-8255. Or send us your list via Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. SportsMemphis.com is our website. You can go at Eli560, at Greg_Gaston if you want to send it directly to us. 5 favorite things, your 5 favorite active professional athletes. Eli, you came up with this list. Our second to last. You go first. I'll go second. Zach third. And then we'll get to our listeners.
All right. I think I learned about when I was doing this, and I hadn't really thought about it before, that there's not as many athletes right now that I really like as used to. I guess maybe it's because I'm getting older.
Because you're older, yes.
And it's certainly on the baseball side of things. I realize that I don't really like the current Cubs like that much. There would always have been a Cub on my list, but there's no Cub on my list. There's like nobody on this current Cubs team who I really, really like.
I can understand that. There is a Philly on my list, but yeah, I get it. And you're right. We don't have those favorite players like we did as kids growing up.
Number 5, he would be way higher on my list, but of who he plays for, it's hard to even put him on my list, but I just love watching him play, and he's really, really good. Number 5 is Deebo Samuel. He would be number 1 if he played for the Cowboys. Number 4, Luka Doncic. Number 3, CeeDee Lamb. Number 2, Ja Morant. And number 1, Micah Parsons.
Wow, Ja Morant, number 2. Good for you. Micah Parsons, CeeDee Lamb, couple of Cowboys for you. I have no Colts. They're my favorite team. There's just not a player that would fall into that category for me. I do have an honorable mention. It's always debatable whether a golfer is an athlete. I think this guy is an athlete. My honorable mention goes to Brooks Koepka, my favorite golfer out there. Although Victor Hovland's making a good run. Number 5, Mike Trout, the pride of Millville, New Jersey. Number 4, Desmond Bain, my current favorite NBA player. Number 3, Bryce Harper of America's team, the Philadelphia Phillies. Number 2, Patrick Mahomes, Chiefs quarterback. Just a delight to watch every single time he takes the field. And my number 1 favorite athlete currently playing, the one and only dual threat, Shohei Ohtani, number 1. Numero uno. In Japanese, you say number 1 because I don't know Japanese. Zach?
Yeah, I had to make some
final revisions on my top 5.
It's a final revisions. Okay.
it was some late calls.
He heard some names that were
some
thrown
things
out
got
there.
jogged in the memory, or what?
Yeah. Well,
You must have forgot Ja.
Man. Okay, so honorable mention, and this is kind of a curveball, no pun intended. Giancarlo Stanton of the Yankees. He's my favorite.
Favorite baseball player?
Favorite baseball player.
Okay.
Number 5, one of my revisions. Amari Cooper with the Cleveland Browns. When he was the Cowboys, he was like the favorite receiver. I love watching him run routes. Number 4, Jason Tatum. Number 3, my other revision. I threw in CeeDee Lamb as well.
Okay.
Number 2, Dak Prescott. Number 1, Ja Morant.
I knew Ja had to be on that list.
Okay.
Cowboys, both of you guys slanted to your favorite team, the Cowboys. I understand that. All right, let's get to our listeners.
John, see if you could pick up the theme of his. A lot of these have themes that you probably will be able to recognize. He has an honorable mention for Chase Elliott. That doesn't really fit the theme. Number 5, Amari Cooper. Number 4, Julio Jones. Number 3, HaHa Clinton Dix. Number 2, Derrick Henry. And number 1, Tua.
They are all athletes. I think that's what we're talking about here, right?
Yes, they are current athletes.
Who do you have first? Chase Elliott?
Chase Elliott with his honorable mention.
There you go. Okay.
Come on up. There we go. I'm not sure which order this goes in, but we'll go Desmond Bain, Fred Warner, Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, and Ja.
So you got a little bit of a theme going there too, right?
He's got a 49er sandwich with Grizzlies as the bread.
Yes.
Speaking of the 49ers, my buddy John Roser, who's a huge 49er fan, he has a theme. He has George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, Trent Williams, Brock Purdy, and then Ja Morant.
Brock Purdy number 2.
Wow. I don't know what order. He doesn't have no.
Oh, okay.
He's either 2 or 4. I'm going to guess.
I bet Jaws is first, so I'm going to go Purdy would probably be a second, unless he put it all out of order.
Marty on Twitter has Ozzie Albies, Austin Riley, Ronald Acuna Jr., Tony Pollard, and Derrick Rose.
So 3 Braves. A little bit of a theme there.
Braves and former Tigers. Seems to be the theme of that one. Let's see here. Number 5, Deontay Wilder.
Boxer.
Number 4, Patrick Mahomes. Number 3, LeBron James. Number 2, Rafa Nadal. And number 1, Tiger Woods. And see, I thought about Tiger Woods, and I could put him on my list, although I don't even really consider him active anymore. Like, I really don't. I kind of consider Tiger retired at this point.
Yes, but he's going to play once a month is what he said. He played last week. I know it was a made-for-television event.
Aaron Rodgers was going to return to the season, too.
Well, if they were in the hunt, maybe he would have. But no, you have to give.
He was never going to return.
It was stupid if he did. But you have to give that person the benefit of the doubt with Tiger Woods. I would accept that. It's your call.
I said it's fine.
Okay.
I said on my list.
Okay.
I didn't put him on there because I kind of consider Tiger retired.
I thought you were about to go the old golfers aren't athletes type thing, which some people believe, but which is a bunch of BS.
Raider Corey has a shout out to Jerry Palm for having Aiden O'Connell on his list. But yeah, Jerry always has a theme. It's either Queen or Purdue.
Exactly.
If anything fits, they're going to be always on it. Number 5, Christian McCaffrey. Number 4, Devontae Adams. Number 3, Desmond Bain. Number 2, Max Crosby. And number 1, no surprise, Ja Morant. So a couple of Raiders.
Couple of Raiders
on that list.
Yeah.
And a couple of Grizzlies on that list. Here's another one.
Who, by the way, who is your favorite of your favorite teams? Is it the Cowboys or is it the Cubs?
Just depends.
Because a lot of times people, they have favorite teams in every sport, but the themes seem to be with just the one team. And I wonder if they like that team more. Like the Phillies are my favorite.
No, I mean, like,
the
right.
Colts are next.
I don't have any Cubs on my list because the Cubs don't really have any players. 4 years ago, when you had Chris Bryant and Anthony Rizzo and all those guys,
right?
My list would have been probably all Cubs.
Okay.
but right now the Cubs don't have anybody that I really like.
Yeah, it's like the Colts.
Christopher Morel's probably my favorite Cub right now, but he's not there yet on the list of top 5.
The closest Colt to making my list was Jonathan Taylor. He just came up a little bit short.
Here's another one with a list. I won't tell you who this is from until afterwards. Let's see if you can figure out the theme here. He's got an honorable mention for Ryan Stanek of the Astros. Number 5, Jalen Williams, the Arkansas Jalen Williams, not the other Jalen Williams from the Thunder. Number 4, James McCann. Number 3, Heston Kierstad. Number 2, Andrew Benintendi. Number 1, Bobby Portis. That comes from Razorback Juan, if you didn't catch the theme.
Well, I figured it was Razorback somehow, but did Andrew Benintendi did he play at Arkansas?
Yes, all of those guys are from Arkansas.
I had no idea he played there. That threw me off when you said that name.
You just thought Andrew Benintendi was on his list?
Yeah, for some stupid reason.
Among a bunch of Arkansas guys, Andrew Benintendi just happened to be his number 2 guy.
Well, I was a little confused there. I was starting to think, like, are we talking about Italians? I'm going, wait, no. A couple of those guys weren't Italians. Like, if he put my boy Tommy DeVito on that list with Benintendi, I'm thinking, okay, he's got Italian athletes. Garoppolo.
Got 4 Arkansas guys and Andrew Benintendi.
Well, you said, give me the list again. The first one was an honorable mention, right?
That was Ryan Stanek.
Yes, okay. And then you went who? Number 5?
Number 5 was Jalen Williams. Number 4 was James McCann. Number 3 was Heston Kierstad. Number 2, Andrew Benintendi. And number 1, Bobby
Number
Portis.
4, number 3, number 2, I had no idea they went to Arkansas. In fact, one of those guys I never even heard of. So that's why I was not sure it was an Arkansas theme.
Tennessee Tom, honorable mention Tony Stewart, NHRA Top Fuel Dragster. I just say, is he running? He's doing that now?
I don't know what Tony's doing now.
Number 5, Draymond Green.
Really?
Number 4, Jack Campbell.
Jack Campbell.
Number 3, TJ Watt.
Okay.
Number 2, Jalen Hurts. Number 1, Travis Henry.
Okay.
That's a weird list, Tom.
That is a very
I'm just going to say it's a weird list. I'll just come around. That's a bizarre list.
Jack Campbell is a hockey player. I think he's is he a goalkeeper?
I don't know. I have no idea who Jack Campbell is.
Drafted number 18 by the Detroit Red Wings.
Bobby.
Yeah, he's a goaltender.
Bobby has number 5, Phil Mickelson. Number 4, Ja. Number 3, Paul Goldschmidt. Number 2 doesn't qualify because he's got Malcolm Dandridge, who's not a professional. And number 1, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Another one here. Number 5, Amanda Nunez. Number 4, Salvador Perez. Number 3, Deuce Vaughn. This is an eclectic list. Number 2, Tyler Lockett. And number 1, Alicia Lehman.
Amanda Nunez is a terrific MMA fighter, but I don't know who the last one is. Give me the name again.
Alicia Lehman. Tom Lehman's daughter.
Alicia Lehman.
I don't. That is a bizarre list. That's more bizarre than Tennessee Tom's.
Alicia Lehman is a Swiss professional footballer. She plays soccer for Aston Villa and the Switzerland national team. And she's delightful to look at. Let's just put it that way. She's very pretty. Therefore, more than likely, the reason to put that young lady on your top 5 list.
I guess must be a Kansas State fan, or maybe graduate with Deuce Vaughn and Tyler Lockett.
Maybe. Are they always themed?
Did Salvador? Maybe this person's from Kansas City too. Salvador Perez.
Right.
Just trying to piece this
long
all
career
together.
with the Royals.
I don't know where.
Sometimes there's no
is
rhyme or
Amanda
reason.
Nunez from Kansas City by chance or something, or Kansas? I don't know.
I don't even know she's from the United States, is she? Let me see. She is Brazilian, I believe. Let me look it up. Amanda Nunez. Wikipedia wants me to give him some money. I'm not going to do that. She was born in Brazil. Yeah.
Does she live here now?
She lives in Kansas City. No, I don't know. I don't know where she lives. I'm sure she lives in the United States. I would guess as much as she fights, but maybe not. Anyway, there you go. Is that it?
I believe that is.
All right.
Yes.
Last one next week. 5 favorite things. We want full participation. I know it'll be after Christmas and folks will be doing their own thing, but next Tuesday we'll give you the topic. Next Wednesday we'll do it. 5 favorite things.
Genesis Diamonds. Speaking of Christmas, we are getting down to the wire when it comes to Christmas shopping. And it's down to the wire for you to take advantage of 5 years zero interest financing at Genesis Diamonds. And that's on anything in the store. If you're thinking about getting that engagement ring, maybe you're thinking about some beautiful earrings or bracelet, or bands, certified natural diamonds, lab-grown diamonds, everything they've got, including luxury pre-owned Rolex watches, all available at Genesis Diamonds with zero interest financing for 5 years. You could go find them at the Poplar Commons Shopping Center, Poplar Perkins Extended. Selection that is out of this world, better than anything you'll find in town. Prices that are absolutely amazing. And now through Christmas Eve, 0% financing for 5 years, all at Genesis Diamonds. Again, Poplar Commons Shopping Center, Poplar and Perkins Extended. I skipped over Wayne's list. He also has very much a theme. Honorable mention to Jake Elliott. Number 5, Daryl Henderson. Number 4, Antonio Gibson. Number 3, Calvin Austin. Number 2, Kenneth Gainwell. And number 1, Tony Pollard.
Yeah, it's a good thing you didn't put Riley Patterson on that list because technically now Riley Patterson is out of a job. He was cut yesterday by the Detroit Lions. I'm sure he'll get another opportunity. He's made some big kicks, but I was a little surprised by that. So Riley Patterson looking for a new home. Also, the Lions activated Hendon Hooker.
He would still be an active athlete.
Without a team, are you active?
Yeah, I mean.
Okay. I mean, then I'm active. I mean, you just.
Well, no, you're not.
Well, I mean.
You weren't cut yesterday but you haven't been playing.
If you're not on a team, you're not active. I mean, that's the bottom line, right? I mean, are you.
Yes,
you're hoping to get it. Okay. All right. I guess we'll agree to disagree on that. I wouldn't put that. If a player right now is not on a team, and we're talking about a team sport here, and they don't have a team, then I don't know when they're playing, where they're playing. So, unfortunately, that's a guy right now looking for a new home, and I think he'll find one. All right, when we come back, it is National Signing Day. Some announcements starting to trickle in. It will be more so for the later part of the day. And then tomorrow, as I mentioned, Brian Moss will join us to recap everything that happened with the University of Memphis. But we got some details to give you in our final segment. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Welcome to the Rendezvous.
This is John Vergas. When my dad started the Rendezvous in 1948, I don't think anyone could have imagined we'd still be serving shoulder, cheese plates, and our world-famous dry rub ribs 75 years later. But we are still here in the basement, in an alley in downtown Memphis. We sincerely thank you for making the Rendezvous what it is today. Charlie Vergas Rendezvous. A legendary experience for over 75 years, whether you dine in, pick up, or ship across the country.
It's our season of giving back at Gossett Kia on the Pike, and we've got the perfect holiday gift for you. Hit the road with 41 MPG Highway 2023 Kia Forte LXS, $239 a month, $27.99 due at signing. Get road-ready SUV Seat 7 2023 Kia Sorento LX, $319 a month, $34.99 due at signing. And 8-passenger seating in your new 2024 Kia Telluride LX, $459 a month, $34.99 due at signing, all 36-month lease. Plus, you'll get peace of mind with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Ask for Bobby J. He's ready to put you in a new Kia today. Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, or online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
650 acquisition fee, Forte RE 699,094, MSRP 21,385, Sorrento PG 242,710, MSRP 33,010, Telluride RG 462, 2822, MSRP 38,705, includes all rebates and incentives, must finance through Hyundai, excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 1/2/2024, dealer stock only.
At Genesis Diamonds, we're rolling back prices and finance rates so you can get that special someone the most special gift ever. Maybe it's that pair of diamond earrings, or that all-new designer fashion bracelet, or that dazzling 2-carat diamond ring. It's all more affordable because at Genesis, we've got special pricing across the board and 0 interest for 5 years. So you can get that $3,000 diamond pendant and pay just $50 a month, or that $6,000 eternity band for just $100 a month. Everything's included in this amazing holiday offer. All our GIA certified natural diamonds and all our lab-grown diamonds, even all our luxury pre-owned Rolex watches. Imagine that $15,000 Rolex for just $250 a month. You can even finance the sales tax. Don't let talk of rising prices and high interest rates dampen your holiday spirit. At Genesis, we're lowering prices and taking interest rates down to 0. Get that headliner gift they deserve and make your money go farther than ever. Merry Christmas from Genesis Diamonds at Poplar & Perkins Extended. On approved credit, see store for details.
Do you have equipment taking up space in your shed or on your lot? What do you do if those pieces are really big? Ever wondered their value? Purple Wave Auction is an online auction company that sells used equipment. Thousands of items are up for bid right now at purplewave.com. Our transparent auction process makes it easy to sell that Kenworth semi you have sitting behind the barn. Or how about an upgrade to your New Holland Workmaster? Take a moment and check out purplewave.com. Purple Wave Auction, straight, simple, sold.
5-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. Roofing and siding, gutters too. We're the pros you can trust to get it done right. Call on us. 5-Ash Roofing, the name to know. 5-Ash Roofing, the only way to go. 5-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. 5-Ash Roofing.
Is that not the corniest thing you've ever heard? Can you believe I paid good money for that silly jingle? Well, the experts say make it memorable, and I think I got my money's worth. 5-Ash Roof Services, proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. 5-Ash Roofing, 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
5-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis.
Okay, this car looks great wrapped around you,
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
The body's a temple.
That's right, Acura Memphis. They bring you this hour of our program. Located on Ridgeway, right there at the intersection with 385. The beautiful dealership, beautiful automobiles. Go by, check out those beautiful Acura automobiles. Take a test drive in one of those. Maybe a new vehicle, maybe a pre-owned vehicle, including a certified pre-owned Acura. You can find them all at Acura of Memphis. You can also find them online, get a lot of information, all the stuff you need to know before you go take that test drive. Go to AcuraofMemphis.com. Did have another list come in on Twitter. Carolyn. Number 5, Shohei. Number 4, Robert Acuna Jr. Number 3, Coco Gauff. Number 2, Giannis Antetokounmpo. And number 1, Simone Biles.
Little housekeeping. Sam Hardiman tweets out from the Daily Memphian. The actual vote yesterday for the transfer originally was reported 7-1-1. It was actually 8 for the transfer, 2 against, and 1 abstention. The 2 that voted against, council members Janice Swearingen Washington and Martavius Jones. Also, yesterday at the end of the show, I talked about the Tommy DeVito saga as far as the appearance at Caniglio's Old Fashioned Pizzeria in Morristown. He was supposed to do it for $10,000, and then his agent, the very popular Sean Stellato, said that it was going to be $20,000. Then they argued about whether or not it was a signed contract, which it was not, according to Nino Caniglio, who's the owner of the pizzeria. Well, everything's fine. Tommy DeVito made an appearance and did not charge him a cent. So Tommy was at the pizzeria yesterday.
Does he get free pizza for life?
I don't know if he gets free pizza for life, but they shared a slice yesterday on social media. So good for Tommy doing the right thing. Also, again, National Signing Day. Names are going to be...
I don't think he did the right thing, but that's...
Why didn't he do the right thing?
I would have got paid for the damn thing.
Well, his agent, you're right, his agent's the one who should pay the piper. Maybe his agent will do something for him. But, yeah, no, I think he did the right thing by getting it settled. That's what I mean. By not having this, not doing it at all, not making an appearance and screwing the guy over. That's what I'm talking about, getting it right. Yeah, probably should have earned some money out of the deal, but he just did it for free. There is a bunch of names that are starting to roll in for the University of Memphis as official signees. Takofa Lewis is a lineman from Pearl, Mississippi. Says, I chose Memphis because I felt like I would be developed here, and that's a rich and strong culture. You have some others, including Javante Mackey, who is a transfer from Arkansas State. He talked about also the culture at the University of Memphis. He's a hometown kid from Whitehaven High School and is happy to be home. But we're going to have a lot more stories as the day progresses, and more on that tomorrow when Brian Moss joins us.
Translation, I chose Memphis because I could be developed here, then I could transfer to a Power 5 program.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's a part of what it is with football today. Want to thank Andy Borman, Jerry Palm, DeMichael Cole for joining us on the program today. If you missed any of our great guests, you can always listen to the podcast. Go to sportsmemphis.com. Check out Sports 56 Mornings. We break it down hourly and listen at your leisure. Tomorrow, as I mentioned, Brian Moss on Tigers recruiting. We'll have the AutoZone Liberty Bowl Inside College Football Hour. We'll continue with our bowl picks. That's all coming up tomorrow, starting bright and early at 7 a.m. Waldo and Friends on Sports 56 is next. I'm sure I'll have a lot more on that big Tigers game he called yesterday against Virginia. For Eli Savoy and for Zach Boyd, I'm Greg Gaston. Have a great day, everybody.